Hey everybody, my name is Frankie McDonald. You're listening to SimpCast with Chrissie Mayr. I'm Frankie McDonald.
I want my baby back, Chili, baby back, red.
Caller, this is calls for Ayala. Hi. So.
Hey, do you remember me?
Who's this?
Nick?
No.
Last name Gers.
Nick Gers. I don't know names. I don't even remember my mom's name.
Say it again.
If you even tell me you're my mom, I wouldn't remember her name. Like, I'm really bad with names. How do you look?
When you say my name again, I don't even know if you heard me right.
Nick Gers.
Thank you.
Why? Why do you have to call in like that? Why do you have to call in like that? That's not a good caller. It's a horrible, horrible caller. I'm going to play you a little song.
Nick Gers! Oh, Nick.
Me Chinese, me play jokes, me put pee-pee in your coat.
What's up, Vivek?
Hey.
Whoa!
Look at this.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I was craving a Slurpee.
Can I get my change back correctly?
You know, we'll.
I feel like a lot of us are conservative in the way that we just want to be able to say the N-word and it not really matter.
That's all I want. Come on. Is that so much to ask? Can't I just say the N-word? Does that make me a bad person?
Come on, guys.
Violet's a huge fan of yours. She loves censored TV.
Oh, great.
I do. I love your show. Big fan.
All she wants is to be able to say the N-word, but that's the only thing that's holding her back in life.
Yeah.
Oh, it just, you go like this.
How are you and your man?
Oh, Bisconti, he's in hospice. I'm teasing.
Oh,
it's a joke. It was an old man joke.
No, there was somebody in the hospice on meeting earlier, so I was like, oh, geez.
I'm just kidding. He's fine. Oh my God, we're great. I'll marry that man.
Oh,
he's adorable. So.
If not Dave's fallout, this is your fault, John. I'm just saying.
Jumping jack. Whoa!
Yeah, don't.
Whoa!
What was it?
Whoa!
Okay, there. I did it. What, you can take me?
I just died in your arms tonight. This must have been something to say. I just died in your arms tonight.
There. I did it.
Are you winning, son?
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm an English teacher, a dialect coach, and today I'm going to show you exactly what actors do perfectly and terribly when they try to do a British accent. Let's rate some accents.
My kink is British accents. Oh, is that all right?
Cheerio, cut.
Yeah, right then. Bush
Cheerio. You're really attracted to this.
Oh, bloody hell.
I had to look up where she grew up and went to school because I genuinely don't know why she's so good. She's not trying to sound perfect.
I'm taking the dog. Dumbass.
I'm taking the dog. He's just happy to have the attention. He's just happy to have the attention.
Got tired of my scheming. It's me. Hi, I'm the baddie. It's me.
Our next guest is originally from Danville, Illinois. He enjoys cold beer and hot music. Says that he and his mom don't see eye to eye on his love life. And he claims that his job has cost him several relationships. Please welcome Robert Faggot. Faggot is rather an odd name.
Yeah, you know, it is an odd name.
Speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
No, Mrs. Stay. Musical judge.
Ding, 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 ding.
Monday, happy day. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy day. Thursday, Friday, happy day. The weekend comes, my cycle hums.
Your lip, just kind of get it in there. Fill it in a few different times just to kind of get it a real deep color. And then kind of go in here at the bottom.
I'm gay. I have relationships with men and sex with men.
Welcome. It is Sunday, February 9th. Welcome to SimpCast, or as we should call it tonight, the anti Super Bowl. We got a great show for you guys. We're going to be talking about all sorts of important internet issues, like Kanye West posting porn on Twitter. Daryl Brooks, is Nala too sexy to bake? We're going to get into a drag brunch, First Amendment audit, public meltdown. Maybe we'll touch on some Super Bowl, something. Depends. We'll see how the ladies feel tonight. Are you ready for them? Before I bring them on, make sure you are liking and subscribing my YouTube page, and make sure you are following all the ladies on the panel tonight. Here are the ones that are here so far. Welcome back to the show. Some bitch I know, also known as Lauren, Forest Mommy, and Christina Radix Verum. Is it weird, Lauren, when I'm gonna go, it's some bitch I know?
No, that's the username. That's the whole idea behind. Well, honestly, I just thought it was funny when I first made it, but I have kept it despite people saying you probably should change it. It's not professional, because it has been a couple of times it's been mentioned like on mainstream news and they always get hung up on it, and it's the funniest thing ever. So I am like refuse to change it forever now, because
They're
they
like,
have
yes, we're going to live in the field. Some bitch I know.
No, it was there was a report on Rachel Maddow's show where they were like talking about a report that of mine that got like passed up to the White House, and she like didn't want to, even though they've said the word bitch but she just didn't want to say it. So like instead of just saying the handle and moving on, or just not mentioning it at all, like she took like an extra 30 seconds to like do a bunch of euphemisms, and it was like, that's great. That's delightful to me.
Like some female dog I know.
No, she said it starts with B and rhymes with Mitch.
This was Rachel Maddow doing this? Wow.
Yeah. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like, my parents, or my dad and stepmom actually, they used to watch MSNBC for like the humor of it, and they actually saw it before I didn't know that was going to happen. Obviously, they didn't reach out to me to get a comment, so they saw it and they're like, wait, what is this happening?
I'm glad that your parents are watching it, like kind of not to be funny, but like to see kind of what the other side is up to. Because I have an aunt and uncle who are like who watch it for real, who I didn't know voted for Biden, and I didn't know they voted for Kamala till the baby's baptism.
There's no better place to discuss politics than a baby's baptism. One says, one might say.
Awkward. I came over to the table of all the aunts and uncles. I was like, whew, that was a close one. We almost didn't win. Wow, because like I know one uncle, they're like very gung-ho. They live in Maryland. And my other uncle was getting really quiet. My other aunt, I was like, do you guys just not care about politics? Are you guys like over it? And they're like, actually, we're for the other team and we think he's a horrible person. And then it was like, it was all just like mainstream media, like propaganda talking points. And I was like, no, like they got you. Oh, whatever.
The worst.
And now we don't talk anymore. No, I'm kidding. We still talk.
That's always a fun conversation with family.
And I didn't think I had any Kamala voters, but I guess we do. It's all good. It's all good. It wasn't enough. Ha ha. Hi, Christina.
Hello.
What have you been up to lately?
Not much, really. Just relaxing, working, doing my thing.
Good.
Staying in my own lane.
Stealing pinball machines from old arcades.
That's right. And trying to get my documentary completed. We have another trip that I'm doing soon, so I'll be traveling to Florida, knock out a couple interviews, and then I have to go back to Michigan, and then hopefully I'm done and going back into post-production. Fingers crossed. Hopefully.
For the folks who have no idea what you're working on, give them all a quick little summary.
Well, I have been working on a documentary on the Governor Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping hoax case. It is 2 years in the making. At this point, I've been reporting on the case since the guys were arrested back in 2020, and it is now 2025. And 5 of these guys have been acquitted. 5 of them are still appealing. Adam and Barry are at Florence Supermax, and the state guys are kind of being held hostage right now by the state of Michigan and Dana Nassel. And so it's quite the project. We're hoping soon, though, that we're going to get a ruling from the Sixth Circuit on Adam and Barry's appeals. I think that it might be coming this month.
Ooh.
Happens, we're hoping that the Sixth Circuit overturns their wrongful convictions and that can help the state guys. But if that doesn't happen, we hope that the president will pardon these guys like he did the J6ers, the pro-lifers, and all the other political prisoners, although there's still some J6ers who haven't been released yet.
Is that true? Wow. Yes, I saw something on your Twitter timeline, Christina, about a case. Was it out of Minnesota? Of a J6er who hasn't been. Let me pull this up. I wonder if this is interesting to talk about. Yes, about this Broadway star. I'm gonna pull this up. I gotta give the J6er some love.
Exactly.
Here we go. Okay, breaking. Broadway star and acquitted January 6 accused James Beeks files $4.5 billion lawsuit against the United States government. On January 31st of this year, James Beeks, Florida native, filed a $4.5 billion lawsuit against the United States of America, seeking damages for the violation of his core private rights, malicious prosecution, and constitutional abuses. Despite being fully acquitted, James Beeks endured violation of core private rights, suppression of exculpatory evidence, malicious prosecution, and wrongful targeting, 4 months and 23 days of ankle monitoring. What does the ankle monitor do? You can't, is it like a shopping cart? Like when you go past a certain area at the grocery store, it locks on you? Like, what do you, or you can't?
You're on house arrest.
All right, you can't. It does that, but at your own house.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
And they'll know if you leave your area, even if you walk out, down the street, they'll know.
Dang, that sucks. Even if you're like, I'm just getting a pedicure.
It doesn't shock them like a dog. It doesn't like electric shock them like a dog, right? Like a
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah. Someone's writing that down right now. Thanks. Pretrial curfews and unconstitutional restrictions, destruction of his career, financial devastation and loss of livelihood, reputational harm, and character assassination. This lawsuit seeks remedy for the irreparable damage done to his life, reputation, and future. I wonder if he was in anything that we know. The federal government knowingly withheld evidence that would have proven James Beek's peaceful intent. An FBI 302 witness. A 302, is that like a 403, but for the FBI?
That's their little form that they fill out where they summarize their interview with you that, typically they don't record. So it's the agents. The agents take notes, like handwritten notes, and then they type up contemporaneously a form 302, which is their summary of their silly handwritten notes.
Okay, wow.
And so it's basically going off of their memory and their notes. It's ridiculous.
It's quite possibly the most inefficient way to do that ever.
Yeah.
Why bother? That could be very, very much skewed. That witness.
Yeah, why not just record them?
Why not? I think they're recording so much else that we do. From February 21, documented that when asked why he was there, James Beeks clearly stated, "I am here to protect everyone from violence." Despite this exculpatory evidence, the government pursued a baseless prosecution, destroying everything he had built. Standing alone without an attorney, James Beeks took his case to trial and won. The only J6er to beat all the federal and misdemeanor charges in a stipulated bench trial. The federal government lost, and he was acquitted of all charges. But winning in court is not enough. This lawsuit is the next step in seeking full restitution for the harm inflicted. Christina, do you see a lot that there might be some kind of, I don't know, reparations for some J6ers?
I would hope so. I've heard talk of like a class action lawsuit, but I've heard other people too, like I think that some of the folks that were part of the Patriot Freedom Project are talking about how they want to do their own lawsuits, because the thing of a class action suit is whoever brings it, they're like the main person who wins, and then other people get some compensation, but they would actually get more compensation if they filed individual lawsuits, and I hope that they do so. One of the problems, though, is that prosecutors have immunity, and so do a lot of these FBI agents, and it's very difficult to prosecute these people for what they did for their political persecution because of these unfair protections that they have, which I think need to go. They shouldn't have immunity to break the law. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's an issue. And there's an issue too with like the Whitmer guys. 5 of them have been acquitted by 2 different juries. You would think that there'd be a lawyer interested in representing those guys in a civil lawsuit against the government, and that just hasn't happened. And we're now kind of approaching statute of limitations area as well. So it's just really sad. I'm not sure how successful people will be with those lawsuits, but we also have a new Justice Department now. We're going to have a new FBI director, so maybe we'll see some positive changes.
That would be good. I was just thinking like, do I still have, I was thinking about how I got fired from my job, my day job back in 2021 for not taking the jab. I was like, I wonder if the window is closing on that. Whatever, it's New York. I feel like it's hopeless to even pursue something, but maybe not. Maybe I'll look into it. Matthew Hammond, what's up, Home Slice? You mentioned not liking Adam Sandler in most movies. Can we admit Seth Rogen makes nearly all roles he is in worse? His laugh is great.
I agree with this.
He is similar to Adam Sandler, with the exception of Uncut Gems. Uncut Gemstones? No, it's Righteous Gemstones and Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems is the movie. With the exception of that, Adam Sandler, he's the same character in every movie he plays. And Seth Rogen's even worse. Yeah, I would say he's even more insufferable than Adam Sandler. And again, it's very much like it's bro humor. It's very much boy humor. And I get why people like him, but I can't get behind Seth Rogen. I think I like him even less. Yeah, I would agree. I like him even less than Adam Sandler. I don't know if that's controversial.
Definitely.
All right.
No,
Ella,
I agree with it.
Ella, I'm unmuting
Can't
you.
stand
There
him.
I think the humming is gone. Oh, is the humming gone? There was a little bit of humming happening.
Hopefully I fixed it. So I had it was set up on auto adjust volume and it had cranked, like I looked down and it was cranked like all the way up. So that was my bad. Hopefully it's better now.
Your computer just wanted you to be heard. That's all.
No, that's the StreamYard thing where if you say like automatically adjust volume, which I thought I had unchecked, it's like it cranked me like all the way up. So anyways.
Oh no. I did that too. I hope my audio is okay.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, the chat will let us know for sure. Okay, let's check in on are any of you in the chat and is anybody on the panel watching the Super Bowl? Does anyone care about the Super Bowl this year? I forgot it was happening.
I am not moved by sports ball at all, really. I did see Taylor Swift getting booed though, and I'm not really sure if that was in relation to something in particular, because I didn't watch the whole thing, or if it was just like a general booing and what that was about.
Taylor does deserve general booing. Let me bring this up. You know what's trending right now? This woman came and sang. They either sang the national anthem or they played the national anthem. Let me see if I can.
Wait, which national anthem? Was it
the black
national?
One or yes. Let me play it. Hold on. Here's a snippet of the black national anthem. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's the wrong. That's the wrong.
I can't believe you didn't do the chirp. I can't believe you didn't do the chirp.
That's not the right black national anthem. Oh my goodness, how could I? How could I make that? Wait, this is the right national anthem. No, that's the chirp. That's the chirp. That's the wrong one too. Okay, hold on. Let's get the other national anthem up here. It's funny because they removed "End Racism" from the end zone, but they still have a black national anthem. Ledisi, never heard of Ledisi. Wows with black national anthem, lift every voice and sing at Super Bowl 2025. And she's wearing her finest bed sheets to perform this song. Why do you think they just have like they promise? All right, we're gonna sing this black national anthem for 5 years. Who is this for?
It's not the best song either. Like it's not a great. Like this isn't a black national anthem.
Well, it's like when
this is embarrassing.
Like when everyone changed their profile pictures to like the blacked out, for Black Lives Matter or whatever, and then people felt like they couldn't change it back. I feel like they started doing it, so now they're like, well, if we stop doing it, it'll be more conspicuous than if we just keep doing it and pretend like that was always the deal,
I think they should pretend they never did it in the first place. Just like
exactly.
Because get this, I just figured this out. They started putting "End Racism" in the end zone in 2020, which is when, and then Joe Biden took office.
That was Summer of Love.
It was Summer of Love. Joe Biden took office on. It was reelected president in 2020. Then we have in 2024, Trump is elected president once more. And now what do we have in 2025? NFL removes the "End Racism" from the end zone, which can only mean one thing. Trump ended racism. Right?
Yes.
Because it's gone now. And I don't know. I think racism is over if you want it to be over. If you're, if your
Can they
job
have a better song? I feel like they should pick a better song for the anthem. But like I would do the apple bottom jeans and the boots. That would be way better.
Or Smack That.
It would be accurate.
Smack that, get on the floor, smack that.
It's like it's a like traditional hymn, and I do think the lyrics of it are like pretty, but it's not really an anthem so much as just like a church song. So
Yeah,
A
they should
gos-
just
is it
say
gospel?
they should just
I
say, "Oh,
guess,
this
I
is
don't
a
know.
nice song that we're singing,"
Yeah.
not just being like, "Oh, it's the new anthem."
But why isn't there like an Asian anthem? Like why then that
Right.
you're opening up the door now, like for everybody. But when we have one, that includes everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
Right.
It's not like there's a high level of representation of Asians in the NFL, I guess.
We need more Asians in the NFL.
I don't.
Yeah, come on, Asians.
I guess that like
I don't think that
Pacific
can
Islander
happen.
maybe counts.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
Samoans. Maybe like
Yeah.
Are they Asians or Samoans?
I
Asians?
mean, it's like
I don't
Pacific
know.
Rim, but
I'm an honorary Asian because I eat like so much Asian food. I'm basically Asian.
I like kimchi.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
enough. What's this? Taylor got booed at the Super Bowl? No, it can't be.
You know she did.
We
But
must-
I want to know what precipitated this.
Trump gets massive cheers at the Super Bowl while Taylor Swift gets booed. No way.
Well, people
And
have
here's
people
Trump.
have not enjoyed like. There's kind of two camps on the whole thing. Taylor's been she's been present at all of the the Chiefs games, but people are just like not a huge fan of seeing her on the screen. But it's not. I mean, I'm sure she doesn't love me there either.
Oh, she's getting booed. Look at her. She's looking around like she
But wait a
can't
sec.
believe it.
Is it Taylor getting booed or Ice Spice who is sitting next to her?
Who
Who's
cares
really
about
getting
Ice
booed here?
Spice?
True.
Oh my God, look at her. She's really giving the side eye. Like, is it?
I don't.
They don't like me.
I don't know who I mean, I do know like of this person. I did see like a whole debate go down on Twitter one time about whether or not Ice Spice has like Down syndrome. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. And that was funny.
She's got a Downsy look.
It's just her retarded friend.
She does kind of have a look. I'm not even trying to be
Wow.
mean. But that's anytime I think of Ice Spice, that's what I think of is like this old Twitter thread of like very heated debate as to whether or not she's
Well, now I need to search that.
it would be an old thread, but I feel like if you just here, I'll see if I can find it. Give me a second.
And she was wearing like a satanic necklace one time or something too, right? I don't follow any pop stuff. I don't know, but
That's so like but like that's not even you're so edgy. You're like in Hollywood, so
Right.
you wear like satanic shit. Get new material.
This is from Riley Gaines. They tried so hard to make everyone hate Trump. They did everything they could. It literally had the opposite effect. Is this a little bit of the...
which Riley Gaines, that girl she is hot as hell, man.
And bright stars.
Aw. See, isn't this much nicer? Wow, look at Trump.
And Ivanka's killing it too. Do you guys see her thirst traps this week? She's killing
Oh my
it.
God, with the camel toe thirst trap, that was like.
And she's like, I think she's
we're going too
44.
far here.
Find these thirst traps. Let's show them.
Have you not seen them?
I have not
was
seen
like,
them.
These can't be real. She did 2 of them.
Because she's
hot as hell, man.
She laid low for I don't know, for the last few years. Certainly like since Trump
Is
announced
everything okay at home?
since
with
Trump announced he
Kushner?
was running again, she has been not very much out in the public. Not
There's
that
a
in
link
public,
in
but
the-
not in the limelight.
There's a link in the private chat.
Oh yes.
To the thirst traps? Yeah, let's look at it.
No, I don't.
No, this
No,
is
I'm sorry, I
about-
was tuned out.
I'll
This is
get
about
those.
Ice Spice being retarded, which is worthy
I'll get
of
the
our
thirst
time.
traps. You get that.
Thank
The
you.
comments-
Thank you, Jessica.
The comments are pretty funny.
Oh my God, my very liberal friend thought Ice Spice had Down syndrome and was part of a movement to bring more inclusivity to music. I mean, we have a retarded Victoria's Secret model. This is not an unbelievable idea.
There's some like hot Down syndrome girls who like work out and they got boobs and they're. I
no.
was like, when did this happen? I mean, whatever. That's cool.
It's true. If you're even a little bit good looking, and the
Eagle
Down
scored
person-
again. It's so Jover.
Are they
Well,
winning?
Well, yeah.
Okay. I voted on the other team.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
I have no money on it. It just was an online poll.
we're about to find out if the Super Bowl is super scripted or not because there's about 10 minutes left.
Ooh.
37-6. I might be a little bit behind.
with it.
Ice Spice performs "Thank You the Shit Fart" for the first time at Spotify's Best New Artist department.
I mean, that's pretty retarded sounding music.
You're not even a fuck.
Oh no. Okay,
Shit's like Beetlejuice.
I should have
I
played
look
that
at
first.
that and say Downsy too.
Very
This
functional.
is like a
if so.
Beetlejuice. She
I don't
might
know.
be.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But I was not aware of this. That was like my first introduction into who this person was, and that I guess that was like a year ago ish. Now I don't know. I pay attention to stuff, but I'm still like, you know
Put the
how
thirst traps in.
Well,
Oh, we got the thirst traps.
You'll see like
Thank
all the
you.
like the
Oh my
super like
God.
popular like I don't want to say teeny boppers because that's not what it is, but I'm like I don't actually
youth.
recognize any of you, and yeah, the youth,
The kids.
youth,
Yeah.
like I don't recognize any of you, and that's fine. But I just that's my
Because
one
you're deep diving, saving the world out. Like it's hard to we
Yeah.
can't fit all this stuff in our brain. We can't fit all this stuff in our brain. Like
Oh
I
my
like-
God.
I like nonsense.
Ivanka.
yeah. I think she's at 44. I think she's 44 or so.
How,
And she's had how many kids? Two
how
kids
old
at
is
least.
Ivanka.
That's great.
She does.
Great.
She
does,
is
but like.
But
is
also, you
Jared
better look
Kushner-
great.
exactly. She's born in 81, so
Yeah.
Oh.
she could
Wow.
be 43.
Oh my
or
gosh.
44.
Wow.
So
Oh
your
my
Well,
chat's
shit.
so fucking funny.
What are they saying
Mine?
now?
Who's?
No, they're talking about the fart rap, and they're saying everyone in the audience got pink eye.
Yes, I believe it. Yeah, they probably all get free
Sorry.
goggles. Oh my God, she looks incredible, but still like a respectable,
Yeah,
like
show the next one.
Oh my God, like a presidential, like political mommy. You know what I mean? The lower midriff is not exposed.
I see the whole outline though. I feel like
I know.
was
If you
not
zoom in on
posted.
that, if you zoom in on
Oh, which we wouldn't because this is a
it,
classy
I'm not saying
program.
I did, but I'm just saying if you did.
But if one did,
Hypothetically
One
speaking.
could zoom in if
what do you,
one
Ben
wanted
Shapiro?
to.
Let's say hypothetically speaking, you zoomed in on
Hypothet-
the camel toe.
Folks don't care about your feelings.
This camel toe is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Oh, good lord!
Don't let anything come between you and your camel toe.
I mean, hey, she looks great, and it's a
She
natural
looks amazing.
thing. And you know what? Good
But
for her.
she's a married mom, and like I just.
But she is
Jared
posting
Kushner
this.
Gay?
She
Is he
posting
gay?
this.
I have always thought that Jared was,
Kushner?
Well, I've actually always thought he was like an asexual, amorphous, vampiric
He is.
creature.
He is a bit, you know.
He
Yeah,
has like a
demonic.
bit of
He got a little bit of a demon vibe.
he gives me Christopher Robin vibes, like he's like a glass of skim milk. Like he's about
Isn't
as
that the
exciting.
kid from Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Making sure I just like got the reference.
A gothic, sinister version, I guess.
I am aging myself with the Winnie Pooh reference.
That just
Oh my
wasn't.
God.
Oh, it was a
cousin's
full length
really
one. I
good
didn't
at that
see.
one.
She did not
looks
feet post,
great.
did she?
She did. She posted feet.
She knew what
Uh-oh.
she was doing.
Free?
She knew what she was doing.
She is like ringing the dinner bell, as they say. Wowee. Wow. Look at her long ass feet.
Yeah, she has a good body. Like I mean, you have a lot of help, but when you have all the money and shit, but she just has a good body too.
She has
like,
a good
She got
frame.
good genetics.
She got to
Great
show off.
genetics.
I mean, that's some hard work. Let's.
Yeah.
I don't-
It is.
mhm. She
I don't
watches
know.
what she eats. She watches what she
Genetics
eats.
play a factor in it, but it's the same thing with like people who are like, I can't lose weight because of my genetics. Like, girl,
like, okay.
you know, okay.
It's like, is your genetics putting the food in your mouth? I don't think so.
It can definitely like affect metabolism, but that's some hard work.
Wow. Oh my God. How chic.
Oh, so 3 kids? They had 3
He looks
kids?
so good in this.
Wow.
All the kids look like him. Unfortunately. Kind of. Do any of them look Trumpy to you? This one looks just like him. Yeah, well, they all kind of look like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, at least we have Baron.
Yes, that's true.
Baron. Oh, right. This was her working out. Oh my God. She's posted these workout videos too. I forgot.
Does it 10 pounds?
Wait, what? How could that be? It's so huge. Isn't that supposed to be a 45-pound?
Not trying to like, hey.
Yeah. I didn't know they made.
Than I've been doing.
They make 10-pound weights so big. I've never seen that.
Oh,
that is not. Did she? Oh, okay. Wait.
Bar
what
is probably what? That bar is what? Maybe 10 or 15 pounds.
Yeah,
bar is 15. Yeah, so it'd be. I mean,
plus 30.
20.
What is that? That's 45 pounds. That's not much at all.
But she doesn't want to get big. She doesn't want to like get big muscles.
When I do my
45,
I do 10 pounds on each side. No, I do 10, 5, and then 2.5 on each side. So I'm working with about 50 pounds, maybe, with the 20 pounds of the bar. It is heavy. It's hard.
I think it's still impressive. It's just like that's a really big
10-pound weight.
10 pounds. Why is it so big?
Why is it so
They're
big?
usually like this big.
Because you can get like a 10-pound dumbbell. A 10-pound dumbbell is like this big.
Yeah. It doesn't even need. Maybe it needs to be a little bit bigger than the 5-pound one, so it's different. Yeah, I got a
But
bone.
this is a little sus
here. They're bumper plates. Someone said in the chat they're bumper plates. I
They
don't know
make
what that
them
means.
bigger so she can feel good about herself.
Plates.
This is. I want to get to the bottom of that. Wow.
I've started getting active, but it's mostly just going hiking. So
that's good.
Walking is the best. Walking and hiking is the best exercise ever. That's like all I do anymore is just walking. Just go walk.
How much do you walk? What's your walking secret?
Me?
Like 3 miles a day.
Oh, I was gonna say mine is just go outside, and I was just doing laps around, like there's a track by my house and like there's a little pond, but it started out being just because it's good for my brain to go outside and like
look at his legs.
Kushner's sweat in the shape of Mickey Mouse. What's going on here?
That was a demon.
He's skinnier than her.
He literally
has
had a demon sweat sigil that has horns, and look at his freaking legs and those arms, the noodle
He
arms.
looks like he has one of these like inverted chests that like unless he's lifting a lot of weights, he's gonna look like he can fold in half.
I will say he's been largely hands off this go around with Trump, so as far as I can tell, and I'm pretty stoked on that. So
why is that? Because he was very involved the first administration.
I don't know, but
he did his grift. He got the money he wanted from Warp Speed, and now he's investing in his nonsense, his real estate projects. His 666 Fifth Avenue. Yeah.
Oh, so we think he's demon possessed. Look at that.
I'm not a fan of. I am not a fan of Jared Kushner or his brother Josh. No, thank you.
I just feel like I would want somebody a little bit more like a real man for Ivanka, maybe more facial hair, a little bit.
A man with broader shoulders than her. That maybe has broader shoulders than her.
Yes, someone who maybe can't share her clothes.
Shoulders are key. Like some people I meet, when these dudes have like the skinniest, which I know we can't help. We all are shaped how we're shaped to some extent,
like
right?
But it's like with the shirt.
We gotta have shoulders.
Gotta.
True.
Yeah, he's too. I don't
The
know.
hips, though, his hips are disturbing me in this image.
He
I
made
really
babies.
don't
I mean,
like
he
it.
made the babies. He made the babies
That's true.
supposedly. So
He made the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way he runs is funny.
She's looking at him like, this is the last run we're doing together. I can't stand looking at your dainty little hips. Look at his legs. They're like hairless.
I was just gonna say, is there a hair on one of those legs? Because they're
He
looking a
shaves his
little.
legs. He's got delicate little ankle socks.
Eagle
I need to
sport
feel like
another-
my man can kill me, but like won't. Like I need to let I wouldn't be
Exactly.
scared of him.
Thank
I wouldn't
you.
be scared of him.
It's called like a respect. Yeah.
This is
You get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ivanka's hot. Super hot. And
She is. Jared, on the other hand, needs an
I
exorcism.
mean, they have 3 kids together at this point. I guess
they're kind of locked in.
That ship has kind of sailed, huh?
Yeah, she'll have to wait till the next go around. In her next life, she can get a burly man. We got a couple of super
Well, she
chats.
might on the side. She might on the side. We don't know.
Let's be real. Yeah.
Rhinoceros. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the pink boy. How very, very generous. I will play the pink noise. I'd rather watch Chrissie overgrown. What? I'd rather watch Chrissie overgrown men play with balls. Speaking of big balls, 2025 and Radix is legit. I remember the PSB days.
Aw, how nice.
What's PSB?
Patriots Soapbox.
Oh, was that your other show?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this big
like a
balls
whole network.
person? Oh, okay.
Big Balls. Is he like is this a reference to the Doge person? Big Balls?
Oh
is that
yeah.
his name?
I don't know what this
The Doge kid? The Doge Zoomer?
I think it is. Big Balls.
Oh yeah, but they like reinstated him, right?
I think he's been rehired.
Or
the one that was
he resigned.
the one
He
that was
resigned.
fired?
It's not. They didn't fire him. Yeah, well, it's Travis Brown and it's the same. It's the same group of people that like doxed her. They have like the whole like hit list on GitHub, or not hit list, but like it's a list of like 15,000 people that are like far right.
Good
I'm
God.
on the list like 15 times from all my different accounts.
Ooh, am I on it? I want to be on it.
I can almost guarantee you are.
Yay!
Yeah, you're probably on it.
But you know, Travis Brown has been. He feeds information to this one Washington. I forget her name, like Catherine something over at
Zeta Jones.
No, Catherine Zeta Jones. No, it's not Wall Street Journal. I think it's maybe just Washington Post. But anyways, they were funded originally by a like nonprofit through the German. It's a whole thing. But they
Profits.
and the reason I know a lot about it is because they targeted me, not to be self-centered, but hey, they targeted me back in 2020 when I was doing like reporting on voter fraud, and it scared the shit out of me because at the time I really was so like naive and didn't understand really quite. I don't know. I kind of underestimated the machine a bit, and it turns out that you. Well, they like put out a big docs on me. It's still on the internet. You can go find it. Posted a bunch of like photos and like then started like contacting my former employer, my like family's like employers. Like it was more so that they were fucking with my family than anything.
Right.
At that point, I was an internet person,
and you're almost like kind of used
but
to it. Not that you expect it, but you can handle it more so than your.
I was super naive, and it's like same thing when I first started reporting on the whole Maidengate thing. It was like I was dumb enough to think that like, oh, if you just like work hard and tell the truth, like it'll all work out, which is hilarious in hindsight. But I didn't really know. Again, I'd never been in that situation before, believe it or not. So, but anyways, they ended up being at the center of it, and he was also the one who doxed the Big Balls kid. TLDR.
Wow.
So somebody doxed this Big Balls kid who worked for Doge.
Yeah, and they're all like 20-year-olds. which
Yeah.
like I'm not discounting that. I think it's really funny that out of one side of their mouths, the left will say, "Oh, we need to lower the voting age to 16," but then you get a 20-year-old who wants to get involved, like hands on, and it's like, "Oh no, like can't do that." Especially if they harbor right-wing sentiments.
Let me play this clip.
There's no prince. They don't have principles on the left.
Who
Yeah,
has
they don't have
used
principles.
the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him.
And see,
He's now working at.
isn't that where Tubin? Is this where Tubin, Mr. Jackoff on the Zoom, and then they hired him back? Isn't that CNN?
Oh my
Yes.
God, they hired him back?
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough
course
of
they
a,
did.
a break.
Inside Doge. And we looked into his background. And so we found, several notable things, Erin. One of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate
moral
name,
outrage.
Tesla.sexy
Moral outrage.
LLC, which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains. Yes, so this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Ball.
I'm gonna get the name of that company.
Why is that unfortunate? Why is that unfortunate?
Yeah, what do you
Why is
expect?
that
He's
unfortunate?
19.
Yeah.
One of which
Come on,
is that this
clown.
individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate
This lady
name,
wishes
Tesla.sexy LLC.
wishes it.
Tesla sexy LLC.
Tesla.
She looks like she has scurvy.
Wow.
She does.
Mainstream media being forced to cover big balls is the best video you'll see. And here's Anderson Cooper covering it.
Oh no.
Yeah, there was a clip thing where they all said it, where they all were saying it.
Air.
Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Musk and Big Balls.
Big balls.
Big Balls, who work for Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, Doge.
In the one case of the Big Balls kid, a literal teenager.
Big Balls online, Big Balls here that Katie's talking about.
A 19-year-old that goes by the username Big Balls.
So that would be one way that we could refer to him.
Young computer whizzes, the aforementioned Big Balls.
Because who among us doesn't feel better about big balls in charge of American air traffic control?
Yeah, wait. So Rachel Maddow will say big balls, but she won't say your
But she won't
handle.
say bitch.
Wow.
That's kind of hypocritical.
Rachel,
Thanks for joining
come
us. We
on.
begin.
Wow, that's funny.
It's wild. Like it is wild when you start getting involved and you start digging. Like I got doxxed literally the day after I filed a run, and it's like these people, they're nuts. They don't care. Like they're the most immoral people, but as soon as a normal person like Elle, whatever, does stuff, then they like go after you or like big balls,
Yeah.
which I'm sure
Well,
it's a fun
they know,
kid.
like there. If you don't have any experience with it, it is scary at first, and not only
Yeah.
that, you don't like. There's a kind of built-in safety net of people to rally around you when you are like enmeshed within a network or like work with a studio. I don't know what the right word is.
Like a network,
And I
yeah.
didn't do any of that, and so like on the one hand, obviously this guy is working with the like Doge team, but on the other, that's not like, he doesn't have the like, right-wing podcastosphere or whatever you want to call it to like.
He doesn't have a big following probably at this point.
Well, because
Yeah. Just
he
big
didn't,
balls.
people didn't know his name. That was the whole thing,
Yeah.
was that he was working under the cover of anonymity, which is pretty naive to think that was going to last very long. But
Yeah.
it is unnerving. He was
It's scary. It is scary when you see your address posted under someone, like someone's posting your address, and you're just like, it's scary. It is
Yeah.
scary. That happened to me.
No, it
It's
is
scary,
but
but
they didn't fire him. He resigned, and it was probably because he thought that was the right thing to do. And I think
oh, he has
probably-
principles.
Well, I mean, he probably just wanted to get out of the line of fire. But the thing is if you like retreat, they'll just keep following you. So I think it's good that they brought him back in.
That's what they want.
Like,
Can't let him win. You can't let him win. You can't let him.
I mean,
win.
it's a 25-year-old though. It's not like you can tell a 25. Like that's a scary place to be in. His family didn't ask for that. He probably that's a lot. It's easier
Yeah.
said than done.
Yeah. But he probably figured there's some risk working for Elon.
True.
Let's see what Trump has to say.
And he's young, so he grew up in the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
for some inappropriate posts.
Juicy.
The vice president says, bring him back. What do you say?
Well, I don't know about the particular thing, but if the vice president said that, did you say that? I'm with the vice president. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yes, red dress.
Red dress, big tits. I would love it if he just addressed people by like how they look. That'd be great. I applied for a White House press credential, and if I get it, I'm gonna sit right next to Peter Doocy. I'm gonna wear my Jen Psaki costume. I don't.
That'll be great. I applied too. I doubt that is gonna happen, but we'll see.
Who do you think's gonna get it? Let me guess. I'm gonna guess. Either
Did redheaded
Josie should get it,
Josie
or
should.
Tim Pool, or Benny Johnson would be good too.
They'll probably pick
or the quartering.
I don't know how many spots they have open for it.
That's
Did
yeah.
say-
That's a good point. Or if they're gonna do
one,
if they're gonna rotate, and maybe I think they'll probably rotate.
That would be smart.
Because then you can get a variety in there.
I think there's probably people that y'all aren't even really, or not y'all, but like the royal y'all, I guess. But like there's a lot of very, very like popular TikTokers and stuff like that too that have like followings on that platform are kind of inflated anyways, but like they have insane like view numbers and like follower counts. So probably some like youngins we haven't even really considered.
Yeah, they should
I
switch
would
out
think.
like every quarter. That would make sense. Or I don't know, you get half a year.
Yeah, I'm not on TikTok, but there are a lot. Like the TikTok followings are huge when you're big on TikTok. So I'm sure some of those people.
Deranged Lunatic, thank you, Deranged. F the Super Bowl. I'd rather be here watching. Thanks, buddy.
Well, Super Bowl's looking like it's 40-6 as far as my little feed says. So it's not
Leg. Hi, thank you
not
for the
going
orange.
well.
Thank you for the orange boy. Hi, Chrissy. What do you and your guests think of Paula White Kane, the new leader of the White House Faith Office? Is she not crazy?
I don't know anything about her.
I don't know anything about
I
her
have
either.
thoughts.
Tell us.
I am not a fan of Paula. I think she's literally demonic. I've seen some of the heretical things that have come out of her mouth that I find, highly disturbing. She's saying that everywhere she steps is hollow ground and like holy. And I'm like, bitch, where's your humility? And we don't like accept female pastors anyways. Like I'm Orthodox, and it just is like bizarre to me to see this crazy woman with her prosperity preaching up there, just waiting for John Hagee and the other weirdo. I'm not a fan of Paula. That's for sure.
Interesting. What is her position?
She's a faith leader or something.
Faith leader. I didn't even know that was a position.
Televangelist, an apostolic leader in the independent charismatic movement.
She literally speaks in tongues and like
she's
like a televangelist,
a tongue speaker. Oh boy.
Yes, and she's like a Joel Osteen prosperity gospel nonsense, Yeah.
That's interesting.
Is she there to like give Trump like little shoulder rubs and like?
Yes, I think that's really what it is.
Crystals and like
she gives them, she sits there and gasses them up basically,
like a little cheerleader.
And she's like,
and she's a cute blonde, so it can't hurt. What's up, Matthew Hammond? Patrice O'Neill said in a radio interview that Radiohead's "Creep" is the ultimate white person song. Maybe it could be the white person national anthem. Oh, that used to be one of my go-to karaoke songs.
Aww.
And then I realized I only sang like one part of it decently. The rest of it's hard.
Radiohead gives me the heebies.
You gotta do it a low octave.
Oh wait, the Chiefs just scored again.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Rhinoceros Radix. Imagine if Danny Castelleros work came around to bite the proverbial A's. Shouts out to all unsung but hung big balls heroes out there. Unhung hero.
Rest in peace, Danny Castellero. May your memory be eternal there.
Who's he?
He is a journalist that reported on the octopus. He was like writing a book about it back in the day, the Inslaw conspiracy there to weaponize Promise software. And he ended up committing suicide in a bathtub by slitting his wrist 12 times. And, clearly.
Well, yeah, you have to do it a lot to make it work.
How do you do it 12 times? That's horrible.
No, and it looks, I mean, if you look at it, it looks like a crime scene. But
horrible.
yeah, his notes were missing. Like after this happened, like he had gone to this hotel to meet with a source, and yeah, he just died, and then his notes disappeared for his book under suspicious circumstances, and he was like reporting on all of this Promise, the weaponizing and backdooring of the Promise software, and the Justice Department's theft of against Inslaw, how they basically bankrupted this company and stole their software without paying them for it. But then he started touching on these other elements of like Iran, Contra, BCCI, all these other scandals that were seemingly connected. And that's what he called the octopus.
Oh, wow. Okay. We got some footage of Paula White. Paula White Kane. Okay, here is just a little taste of Paula.
No to President Trump would be saying no to God.
We command all satanic pregnancies to miscarry right now.
No.
It is not found in Antifa, and it is
Who
not
was
found.
the old blonde lady that would like cry? Who was that one? What was that lady's name? Do you remember? She was like one of the televangelists. The same stuff.
President Trump will overcome every strategy from hell and every strategy of the enemy.
And any tongue that rises against him will be condemned according to the word of God.
It's not okay to have an abortion. It's not
Tammy Faye.
okay to marry the same sex. And strike 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 until you have victory.
It is God that raises up a king. It is God that sets one down. And so when you fight against the plan of God, you're fighting against the hand of God. The Supreme Court justices, if we get two more, come on, if we get two more. And right now, I know right now, we are scaring the literal hell out of demonic spirits by me saying this right now, because if we get two more, we will be able to overturn demonic law.
I think she'd be great on QVC also.
Yes, she would.
The same sort of sales. Yeah, the same sort of salesmanship.
For
Well, they
$19.99.
They sell like holy water on like the bottles. I mean, I guess maybe that's real. I don't know. I gets into like.
Are they the people like send you a letter and you send money? They send you $1 and then you send money back. The Papel, is that part of?
I have no
Well,
affiliation with these
I
people.
would just say
I grew up with
life.
Benny
Prince Alice
Hinn or
cannot
Benny Hill,
control this
whatever.
man because he surrounds himself
Not the music
with
guy.
Christians.
The guy that would
what?
oh, I don't know. I grew up with like, was it Benny Hinn? Who was like the televangelist back in the day who'd like whack people on the head and be like,
I think you're thinking of Benny Hill. No,
No, it was Benny Hinn. And he's still living, and like he like moved all.
He'd
of his
heal
stuff,
him.
like,
He'd heal
I
him.
think like the
when he'd hit
Philippines or
him.
something like that. Yeah,
Oh, here's
I mean, it's just marketing. If you can make money,
Yeah.
we all have our faith, and I do think God is real, and there's real faith. But then there's these people who do this stuff, and it's just like,
well, I mean,
yeah, like talking in tongue. Talking in tongue was supposed to be like not a forced thing. It was so you could like spread the word of God to people you didn't know their language. But then like people would just be talking in tongue in their own church. And it
I
was
think
like,
this is just
what-
Portuguese she's speaking.
No, that's so weird.
Look at the reaction. That right there. That person looks intoxicated. That is not holy. That is not
They could
legitimate
be moved
spiritual
by
activity.
they could be moved by the Holy Spirit.
This is literally demonic, and the Orthodox Church warns specifically against this kind of bizarre euphoria that appears in these weird churches. It is
Which
literally
I love the
demonic. And
Orthodox
as you're
Church.
speaking
I love the
tongues.
Orthodox Church. It's
She's
not right.
literally
It's not right.
channeling a demon.
The way she's doing it, because talking in tongues is so you could spread the word of Jesus to people you didn't know their language. But then, like, I lived in the middle of nowhere, and there was one of these churches, and I would go to the youth group there, and they would just start
we have
doing
Google
it. And I'm like,
Translate now.
and we all speak English. What are you guys doing? Like,
I don't.
It's so
I always think
weird.
of that. I always forget his name, but there was like one of those televangelist guys who was like, "God wants me to have a private jet."
Oh yeah, the black guy.
Yeah,
Black?
exactly.
Yeah,
John
No,
Hagee.
he's always like.
It's a white guy.
Oh,
I
there's
think.
another one.
that-
There's another
I'm
one.
sure
who
there's
does
been
that
a couple
too.
of. I'm sure there's.
Was
been a
it
couple
John
of
Hagee? That sounds like Hagee or the
I don't
other
know.
one.
He looks like a reanimated corpse, but he's like, the Lord wants me to have a private jet. I'm like,
Yeah.
Funny.
Amazing that
He's
you found this
manifesting.
out.
Copeland. Is that
If
Copeland?
you can get people,
Kenneth Copeland.
if you can
Yeah,
get
that's the
people,
guy.
if you can get people to believe you like that, like that's a skill. I mean, you're a fraud, but it's a skill. So bless you.
I
I
don't.
guess.
It makes me think. No. It makes me think of like just like it's like grandparents that get.
Yeah. I just got scammed. Well, I didn't get scammed. I had an Indian scammer this week. And it was just like, really?
Was it
like,
Vivek?
really? No.
Sorry,
I want to talk about
like
that.
Vivek.
Did you see him he was standing at the fucking Super Bowl. He was at the Super Bowl with his wife, Fame in football, and I thought he hated jock stuff. He hated jock stuff.
Oh,
and here he is at the
yeah.
Super Bowl.
What's he doing?
You know,
How
like,
dare
image
he?
you know, like Ramaswamy.
rehabilitation or rehabilitation tour.
Yeah, he's trying to be cool now, and it's just.
I was
so
like, that's
over
Zach
for him.
Morris. This
Over
is Zach Morris
happening.
behavior, bro.
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
be such a Vivek defender. It makes me sad.
What turned you?
To be quite honest, the shunning of Americana, which is like the whole, it's like the thing that he shunned and said was one of the things that we should be like shameful of and change, is the byproduct of, you know, our forefathers, you know, hard work. The whole idea of like child labor being eradicated under the like in the Western world and the United States being a leader in that. I mean, children used to not have a childhood, even in the United States. The Breaker Boys, those girls that would like shuck the oysters and they'd have missing fingers. Like the whole idea of Americana and Friday Night Lights and football and all of that is like one of the greatest accomplishments of this era. And
The
for him
hot
to just
dog.
turn his nose up at it and say that, like, obviously we want our children to do things like read, but children who are doing well at there's a whole.
But you know what? If you're good enough at sports, you won't have to read that much.
I mean,
That's what
it's
America's about.
but it completely misses the point of like part of like a crucial
How
part
to learn
of
how to
America.
like do stuff. How to learn to do stuff. Like you have to learn how to do stuff as a kid, and it'll be hard sometimes. But I don't know.
It was-
Yeah, his whole thing was.
But that was the whole thing stemmed from H-1B, which has the literal argument that they were making about H-1B visas has been verbatim said over and over and over again since the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, they've said we have a shortage of these like high skilled tech workers, and I don't really trust the people who can spot the problem but have offered absolutely zero pathways to fix it long term. I mean, we've known for longer than I've been alive that this is supposedly a problem, and there's been no move to mitigate or to put out like a concrete plan for how to be able to fill these roles within the United States. It's just, we need to import infinity Indians to our, like, that makes absolutely zero sense. So that like Vivek showed a lot of colors when he like made that argument. It was obviously a shunning of American culture at like its most like, you know,
wow.
And Boy Meets World. He brought Boy Meets World and Saved by the Bell, which are like, it was awesome. And he was like jealous of those guys. And I'm like, they were actually pretty cool, normal dudes. Like it was.
And
weird.
Boy Meets World is like Boy Meets. I didn't watch like a ton of it, but like it's one of those
I loved it.
But it had
Topanga was
it
so
always
cool.
touched on like more like I guess heartfelt and like cerebral and thoughtful topics than just like it. I felt like this was a bizarre example.
And he lived in a traditional home with a mother and a father. Like that stuff was set.
Like we
and,
should
like,
be
that was
so lucky
normal.
that that's what the average American youth experience would look like.
Wow.
Yeah,
He sounds
You know?
jealous. He sounds like jealous that he was like
It
an
was
IT
jealous.
nerd and not a football
I
type.
guarantee you, like,
exactly
you know,
what it sounds like.
and it's not even like you can't even just be good at a sport anymore for the most part. I mean, you have to be like really, really good though.
Unless
Most
you're a
student
dude in a
athletes
woman's
who are on
sport.
scholarship also have competitive GPAs. They're also like active in the community. The whole like, oh, jock just like, you know, skates by on athleticism alone, that even is an antiquated notion of America. It was completely out of touch. And
Definitely.
Yeah, and he brought up Screech, and in real life, Screech like got arrested for all these crimes, and then like
Oh,
this guy
yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Not
That's right. And also, these big tech companies, while they're saying there's a shortage of workers, they have been laying people off for the past 2 years in
Well, and
massive numbers.
And the argument is like, well, not all like tech jobs are the same. It's like, well, you saw this gap and you didn't think that, oh, well, we have people here already, rather than
and they sent them all to college. They sent everybody to college in the late
like,
90s.
to ship people in and to have to offboard and then onboard, which is a very expensive process. Like a whole new like it's for completely erroneous reasons, and it's not the ones that they state.
And they frauded it. They frauded it with like the gas station stuff. Like, of course, people have frauded it, and like,
and not to mention, like the bringing in a lot of workers from India. What's up, Nina? Bringing in a lot of workers from India brings in the caste system to our like tech jobs. That is like an unspoken but very much real threat to American workers. Anyways.
Nina, we're just talking about Vivek's downfall, which I guess I was not that I wasn't paying attention to it, but I know that he dropped out of the Doge and he said, oh, it's because I want to maybe run for office. But I wonder if it's tied to this his sort of
he went quiet after that. After that whole argument, everyone's like, "What?" Everyone was like,
well, he's been
talking
going
about
on podcasts and trying to like rehabilitate his image, but it's not going well because the things that he said were like truly cut to the core of like what America is. And honestly, people are just sick of watching their jobs either be shipped overseas or watch people be shipped in to replace them in their workforce. I mean, that's an absurd concept to say that
having
we
to
need
train.
That. They say America wins when we have like these high skilled workers. I'm like, who wins exactly? Can you please tell me exactly who's winning? Because it doesn't seem like it's the American worker.
And if they're so skilled, fix your own country. Fix your own country and be skilled there.
Exactly.
Like, and that's scam me, not try to scam me when I call into Microsoft.
The high skilled Indian tech job worker is like, that's already a myth in and of itself. But this is a whole different conversation. Sorry. But
I wonder if I can get
love it.
Is there a clip of this of Vivek, or is it like it's been a?
It was a Twitter thread.
It was a tweet, and
it was right on Christmas. It was like the 24th or 25th.
It was.
And
then he doubled
right around
the one that where he said like all the people who watch Saved by the Bell shout out like that.
He brought 90s. He brought the 90s up. Like it was so bizarre.
Oh yeah, the 90s. I don't know what
I watched
the
Saved by the
fixation
Bell
was with that.
And then,
Boy Meets World. Like, what was wrong with that? That was good things to like want to be a family and like know. It was just
those
weird.
are good shows. No, he's just jelly because he's too brown for football or not tall enough or not.
Well, now he's getting pictures with his wife. He's getting pictures with his wife on the football field at Super Bowl, and I'm like, this is Zach Morris. Well, it wasn't Zach. I'd be more. What's his name? The other guy who's the jock, but like.
Slater. AC Slater.
I'm like, isn't fame in football more of a jock thing? I posted that.
Wow.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
See, who you are in high school really carries over, doesn't it?
It is disrespectful when Americans have to train their foreign replacements. Could you imagine you work at a company for 20 years and then you have to literally train your less competent foreign replacement?
It's a well-documented thing too.
Probably stinks.
And they bring their family in, and they bring their families in eventually, and they'll take over whole like parts of tech companies.
Yeah, they're very nepotistic.
All they have to do is make one kid, and they have an anchor.
It's going on in Canada too.
All there.
It's
Canada too, Nina.
Yeah, Lauren Southern before her downfall made like a whole video on like how like basically that they were taking over, and I actually kind of agreed with her because, well, like the immigration policy in Canada has just not been working out either, like too well. And so basically what would happen is a lot of them would go and then they would become under government subsidies because Canada's a socialist country. So they would just pay them to be there and then they would just bring their family over and they would just all live off the government. And then they would just all take over and they get paid less. So they would work less than a minimum wage to work at like Tim Hortons and like other places. That's why she went viral for that photo where she was like, I love Indian food. And she was holding like a Tim Hortons cup.
That's funny.
Oh, that's great.
It's the same thing in the UK as well. Like I believe, I don't know his name, but like the richest person in the UK is like an Indian man. Which the UK has shot themselves in the foot numerous times. They accept refugees / asylum seekers / immigrants kind of without really any limitations from any Commonwealth nation, which it turns out about a third of the world's population lives underneath the United Kingdom's Commonwealth, and India is part of that. I mean, that's an absurd. It's never been, I guess, abused to the by the numbers that it is now, but it's unsustainable. It's a literal island. There's only so many places you can put people. So
and
anyway.
make your country better. I don't get like making your own country better.
Who's going to India?
They can only make it better here for America. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It falls completely apart with like any sort of scrutiny whatsoever. But anyway, so that's what Vivek did.
That's really disappointing, and that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, and Elon defended it. Elon defended it too, didn't Elon?
No,
defend
he
it
did.
too?
Oh yeah, he did.
And all of the right-wing talking heads did as well. They were saying that, oh, well, isn't prioritizing the American work, that's just DEI for Americans? And it's like, yeah, it actually is, but like, what the fuck is wrong with that? That was like I say this as someone who like does a show for like, I got some podcasts for a living, but like the right-wing podcastosphere is like some of the worst. Like they were the ones who were saying you should be grateful to work at Panda fucking Express.
Oh my god!
That's a low skill, high pay, low stress job.
Boy,
but none of them will work at Panda Express. They get their six-figure jobs to sit there on their silly little publishing house and write their little articles.
That was also the time when Elon Musk first kind of showed his true colors of like, let's start banning people that don't agree with me.
Oof.
So that was like also like the first time I think that he really kind of was like, I mean, he was going wild for a minute and then he started giving people's accounts back. Like I think like Owen Schroyer. Yeah, Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer. He was banned, and then Laurel Loomer was banned. A bunch of people were banned, and then he slowly like they returned their accounts, and everybody was like, "What the fuck? Like, are you doing?"
Well, there was a lot of ball washing
honestly, that's
going on as well.
In the long term, that's a much better mechanism for control, because if people don't want to be silenced, they don't want to lose their platform. If they know what they can't say to like get like honestly. If they had ever caught on back when they were just handing out mass bans back in the the old Twitter days, rather than banning people, they should have just started handing out like 3 to 6 month suspensions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because ultimately, people would come back under their umbrella and they would watch what they said to not trigger one of those again, and it would have like ultimately. They're way too short sighted, but I don't want to plant those seeds. But Elon's.
We got banned all the time.
Facebook,
we got banned all the time.
Yeah, I haven't had to make a new account in like 2 years, but like it's actually I don't know. I
never got banned. I never got banned even in old Twitter because I guess I knew how to play the game. Because I would say everything, but I just knew how to talk.
I lost an Instagram.
If you pissed off the wrong activists back in the day, they would just continuously like it was Travis Brown, the same guy who targeted the Big Balls kid. They had like a mass reporting system, and they also had it. Travis actually worked for Twitter at one point as well. So like they had, if they had a bone to pick with you, and they had their massive like GitHub spreadsheet of all these different people, like you didn't stand a damn chance. So
well, that was also like all in the
mechanisms
the
are still in place, and they want to act like they're not, but they are. So It is what it is.
Yeah, I have more friends who have gotten banned now under like I say all the worst stuff now.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was a good time on Twitter when I was banned completely. I couldn't get on. They would constantly, if I made a new account, boom, I was done. Like I was off for months. And then now I have people who are getting still banned over like nothing. It's weird.
I'm surprised that I mean, Camelot, his original account is still banned over like the most milquetoast joke ever. Like the one that when he was like, "Oh, I would have done the same thing about that guy who, like apparently like raped somebody who came to rob him or something like that."
Oh,
so then he's like,
wow.
"Oh, I would have done the same
Whoa.
thing."
That was a
and
small
then
joke.
Okay.
yeah, and he got banned. His account is gone. I was like, "Damn!" Over that.
How long is
That's
it going to
pretty
take for
crazy.
Philadelphia to start going up in flames?
Did they win? Did they win?
It didn't. Regardless of if they won or lost, there was still going to be riots. But
They
they
were-
were preparing for it. They were like greasing like utility poles and stuff like that earlier. So,
Oh no!
the final score is 40 to
All right.
22. So I'm just curious how long it's going to take for that to start.
Cornelius Buttknuckle, thank you for the orange boy. Look, ExpressVPN isn't sponsoring any camel toes. That monster is sponsored by Stuffler Stuffed Waffle Maker. Oh, thank you. Very good. I should have brought that up earlier.
That knuckle.
Charles Hurst, they're plates made for paper powerlifting. Oh yeah, Ivanka's
her face.
her weights. Hello, Sam, darling. Lauren, are you still doing your push-up challenge? Speaking
I
of
can lie to you and say
inappropriate,
yes.
speaking of inappropriate handles, show them the clip of Rachel Maddow refusing to say your name.
Oh, I'd have to find it.
Wait, you went on Rachel Maddow?
No,
Oh,
they were
you featured
they
her.
were, they were just discussing me.
Oh, okay. That's
The work she does.
She's a big deal.
Unfortunately, she was not on. It was like they were showing the like readout of a thing. If her face was not on the screen, I wish it was.
Oh,
but I do have the voiceover. I can find it.
I'm looking too.
And I know I have an edited version of it.
Oh, okay.
Like where I added like music to it, but
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure.
hell
Hell,
yeah, of course I'm gonna enjoy that.
Hell, Chrissy, what are your thoughts on Mercado pleading? Oh God, this again. For pleading guilty to felony possession of the same substance as 9-year-old. I haven't been following the story in quite some time, quite some months. I would say I don't know.
It's not your drama. Who wants to
Yeah.
be involved with that drama?
I'm not involved in this drama anymore. It doesn't pay. Rhinoceros, thank you for the orange boy. Princess Harry should be deported along with SES.
did you see Trump's comments about that?
No.
Oh yeah, because
That
he has
was
to deal with Meghan.
Let me find this.
He was like, "I'm not gonna deport Prince Harry. He's got his own problems. That woman's awful."
And she is.
It's true.
Oh gosh. Okay,
Terrible.
this really is a clip. Okay, let's bring this up. How funny. I like sometimes I'll see a post of his on True Social and I'm like, is this real? Is he really weighing in on this?
I mean, his like original like Instagram was like Obama was chewing gum in India. Like, do you know those old videos are amazing.
Oh, let me play.
I've never seen
You
him.
cannot use the nuclear word ever again. Harry is whipped. Do you know the expression? Whipped? I won't use the full expression. But Harry is whipped like no person I think I've ever seen. I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
How are these cameramen? How is even like his Secret Service keeping a straight face?
That's a good point.
He's hilarious.
Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And I wasn't right from the beginning.
Same
I think
to
poor
you.
Harry is
Yes,
being led
King.
around by his nose. Okay.
You think he's gonna win?
I do. I've been a very good predictor, as you know. I predicted almost everything. It'll end and it'll end bad. And I wonder if Harry's going to go back on his hands and knees and say,
Oh.
please, you know, I think.
You know,
Harry
I
has
thought
been
it was
led
going
down
to
a
end a
path.
long
If you were
time
the
ago,
queen,
too. I'm a little bit surprised that they're still together. Like, I thought that it was going to end pretty shortly after leaving.
You think
the-
he
the
did
royal
a-
family.
Are they?
Freedom.
They're doing a reality show now. Aren't they doing
They're
a
doing
reality
so
show
many
now too?
things. They're
Of course
doing
they are.
Yeah.
maybe they
doing, like, a
have
cooking show, and she's doing some other like podcast, which apparently has gotten put on quote unquote delay. So I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
Maybe they have too many projects together. Like maybe they're tied up in a lot of, I don't know, contracts.
Well, the royal family is like the royal family is weird. Like when Columbine happened, because I'm in Colorado, I was in high school. The Princess of Fergie was here filming something. Every time there's a catastrophe in America, the royal family shows up and like does something every time, and I'm like, they're part of this stuff. Like it's weird. Why would she be there? Why would the Princess of Pork, they used to call her, the Princess of York, whatever her name was, Fergie or something, and like why would she be at Columbine in Littleton, Colorado, like 2 days after it happened?
Yeah, that's a little
why would
weird.
she be there?
Okay.
That's
Hold on. I'm
weird.
gonna play the
Right?
rest. Hold on.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Please, I think Harry has been led down a path.
If you were the Queen, is it at the stage now? Would you remove their royal title?
I would. The only thing I disagree with the Queen on, probably one of the only things ever, is that I think she.
I think this is an old interview.
That's your choice, fine, but you no longer have titles. You no longer, and frankly, don't come around. He has been so disrespectful to the country, and I think he's an embarrassment.
That's funny.
He is.
He's got problems with his wife. Love Trump.
The deadline for the JFK files, I think, like they had to submit the plan to declassify. I believe the deadline was Friday. It might have been, but it's
and then it's 45 days from that.
There's a timeline like that's been pretty much laid
brings
out.
us to March.
Do you think it's going to be all redacted?
Probably.
I think a lot of it will be. They're not going to just admit that the Mossad did that.
Thank you, Ben,
along with the
Chris.
CIA.
I don't think they're going to admit it. I think it's all going to be redacted.
Dan Halen, thank you for the 5. Super Bowl already had the white anthem when Creed performed Higher, and that bald dude flew in with the ribbons. Creed,
I saw Creed. I saw Creed this year. It was the best thing. I saw them live this year. It was the best thing ever. Well, I mean, it was Creed, but like it was fun. You know, it was like nostalgia.
Yeah.
Weathered was like one of my top CDs of all time in high school.
Oh,
I fell asleep to it at Bible camp all the time.
I was a Blues Traveler gal, and Weezer. What's up, Wolf? Frank Wolf Connell. Thank you for the yellow boy. For my cancer GoFundMe, not a single Christian preacher friend donated to help, and I have a good 20 that I'm friendly with, but all my 50+ sex worker friends did. Kind of says something.
That's so weird.
Oh my God, Frank. I hope you're doing well still. Frank's the best.
Sorry to hear that.
I think
Yeah.
Not
he's on the
surprising
mend.
though.
Yeah. Frank is cool. I had like an annoying moment with like a.
Well, if God wants them to have a private jet, you know, you can't.
Yeah.
Expect too much.
Wolf is the best. He's like he's done some
hope you're doing all
light
right.
bouncing for me. Hannah
It's a Benny Hinn. Yeah. Sorry.
Floor Seed. There's a hilarious Benny Hinn video such as the song "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." Oh, maybe Benny Hill.
No, it's Benny Hinn. It was the televangelist from like the 90s. I
okay.
guarantee you stayed up too late one night at like your grandparents on the couch and like ended up seeing one of his like I don't know if it's an infomercial, but it would be like like before late night TV just kind of kept on being TV. It was like that would be what was on at like 2 a.m. was Benny Hinn just like smacking people on the head and going, you know, be healed or anyways. That was very formative in my childhood.
I remember when like you knew you were up so late when like there was not even regular TV anymore. It was just
or it was like the like Little Orphan Annie like collectors edition.
I remember MASH coming on. Like when MASH would be on, it'd be like, get upstairs, go to sleep.
In Canada, there was like this like little skit that was like little these like apes that were dressed like humans, and they would do movie skits like movie scenes, and I was like obsessed with those, and they would come at like 4 a.m. It was so funny, and they'd be like there was like the funniest one with like Gone with the Wind, and they're like I don't like
I love Gone with the
Red,
Wind.
what do I do? Where do I go? And he's like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And he goes like back inside, and she's like swinging from the chandelier and shit. And I was like, this is wild. It was really good.
That sounds funny. Let's play. This will be a good palate
Back
cleanser.
in the day, like TV used to
Yeah, I
end.
love
They'd
Creed.
play the national anthem and it'd be over.
This is what a real halftime show looks like. Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Creed really was so good. They were so wholesome.
Wait, this is from this year?
That
No.
This guy doesn't age.
No. Okay.
This was a halftime show. They did the halftime show a while ago.
Modern man.
Okay.
I want to see a modern man with that haircut.
Oh. Yes!
He has short hair now. He has short hair now, but like it was so fun to see this, to hear him live.
That's great.
Like, it was so
Who
cool.
is this
Yeah.
man flying around? Is he in the band or is he just a flyer?
No.
He's probably just a fly guy.
Yeah.
2001 Thanksgiving. Oh, so that
This
was like right
lasts.
after 9/11.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It was after the 2000s. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was the
Feels like another lifetime ago.
It was the Thanksgiving like Dallas Cowboys
gonna
game,
cry.
which
Big
used to
fan,
be
big
a
fan.
lot bigger of a deal than it seems to have been for the last few
Yeah,
years.
football was big on Thanksgiving back in the day. Like
Well,
Thanksgiving.
the Cowboys in
the holidays-
particular, I don't know. I don't think about them too much anymore, but maybe they're good. I don't know.
Dates, love, act, mean.
What's a mandatory carry?
Keep fighting. Thank you.
Good
I should
people.
be able to pronounce these. Rhinoceros would much rather watch the ladies of SimpCast on Super Bowl. This is a wonderful episode. Thank you, Rhinoceros. You're the best. Leg, what is the very intelligent and beautiful Christina's ex? Description is too small. Is that a pinball machine?
Aw, it is at not Radix, NOTRADIX, and yes, it is an Addams Family pinball machine.
That's a
Aw.
good
The
one.
best.
I love that. I love pinball.
Eric July's favorite chicken seasoning. Thank you for the $1. And it's just a thing of Dawn.
Oh my
soap.
god. What the fuck?
So funny. Deranged Lunatic, happy early B day to Brittany Venti. Yes, her birthday is on the
Aw.
12th. I have it in my calendar. No, I do not want to.
Happy
And
early
it's
birthday.
Papa L's. Isn't it Papa L's birthday today?
His birthday's tomorrow, but
Tomorrow. Okay.
I just made a post about
Aw.
it today.
Yeah, Brittany Venti's
Yeah.
birthday's on Wednesday. Oh, okay. Remember
Lots of
everybody.
birthdays.
She's gone. She like left Twitter and everything.
She left Twitter?
Yeah.
Who?
Oh.
Like she like
I think
basically
so.
like she's deleted like all her posts. It was funny 'cause
What?
she
Oh,
actually
man.
liked my tweet today and I was like, oh my god, Venti. And then like I went to like look her profile and it's like all gone. Like it's like the
Oh,
whole thing is
wow.
gone.
She has a new man and I think they're pretty serious. The last time I saw her was over the summer. She came over for a BBQ and that's when my tortoise peed on her and wrecked her outfit.
No.
She picked up Iggy because I was like so surprised because most people are like weirded out by tortoises. They're not like, fuzzy and cuddly like the dogs are. And she's holding Iggy like not quite arm's length, but like this far away, like hi, like holding him like vertical, like not just like shell down, like, and she's like hi, and I'm like well, I'm like you're a new person, like just I don't know, I'm just like be careful, like watch his claws, and all of a sudden it's like like I'm talking like a literal like a hose, like I was so shocked that this much water came out of this animal because it's like he's a tortoise, he's not like drinking water all the time. You bathe him like almost
I've
every
never
day.
seen a tortoise pee.
He
That's
like
crazy.
did a defense like an offensive pee.
Oh my
and,
God.
like just whizzed down like from
Well, did he
boobs
go in his
to
shell
crotch.
afterwards?
No, because his arms and legs were out. Well, sometimes he can like put his head in, but like he doesn't really tuck his arms and legs in. And
So he wasn't scared then. He was doing
pissed
that on purpose.
all down her outfit, and she was in the bathroom for a while trying to get it out, and I was like, I don't
Does it
know.
smell weird?
Get
Because
it.
I've had a snake do stuff on me, and it smells so weird.
I
when,
didn't
like,
smell
reptiles.
it. It's
Yeah,
probably
it's
just
gross.
water from like when he soaks in water every day. Like
Wait,
that's
you've
part
had a
of-
snake do stuff on you.
Yeah,
I
what
need
kind
more
of
clarity.
They like poop and pee on you if you catch them, and they'll like poop and pee on you.
Ew.
It smells weird. It smells weird. Yeah, it's gross.
Gross.
I don't know if it's a reptile.
I can't hold
thing,
reptiles. I'm not a reptile person, like at all.
You need to just meet the right one because that's how I felt. The tortoise is very cool. He's like a dinosaur. And he's
I like
gonna live-
turtles. Like I like turtles and
I like
turtles.
I like turtles.
But other than that, see, I'm wearing a turtle necklace. But
Oh,
other than
yeah.
that, it's like
He's
no.
cool.
Not
I always
interested.
think of the like video of that turtle is like humping a shoe and it's going like
yeah.
That's Nina's favorite video. I wish I had that drop. I like turtles.
I like turtles. Zombie Jonathan.
But yeah, anyway,
that kid.
Yenti and her new man. I met the new man. They seem so happy together.
Yeah, you met the new dude? Oh,
Yes, yeah.
yay.
This was over the summer, and he was there for the turtle peeing.
Oh my
So,
god, that's hilarious.
The turtle peeing.
You know what? I admire her though because she's like, you know what? I'm gonna quit online. I'm gonna go start a family. I'm gonna have kids. I'm gonna, I want
Yeah.
to do what she wants to do. She's always talked about that, and I think it's admirable that she's actually kind of like, walking the walk and putting, her money
Yeah.
where her mouth is. Where she's actually like walking away from money. She's like,
she doesn't
"I don't
need
to do
the
this."
money. She's I guess she's good in that respect. And also like I can understand. Like I remember when I told the internet I was pregnant, I was really worried about it. And then I have, some certain jackass people who hate me being like, "Oh, I hope your kid's retarded. Oh, I hope the kid doesn't have your stupid gummy smile." Like all, all the things that people hate you say, and you're like, "Okay, why are we bringing the kid into this?" Okay, like just
it's
hurl
really
your
stupid.
insults at
So
me.
rude.
And I just, don't want the little.
And then you
baby.
posted that video today with the dogs playing with the kid. And it was so cute. It was so cute.
Wait, you posted that? I didn't see.
I'm gonna play it. I'm playing it
Pull it
now.
up.
Let me
Okay,
pull it up.
And it's good to let dogs like play with babies a little bit, then they won't be allergic to it and stuff.
They love
so
the
That's
bean.
good. I know they were all like, you wanted to lick his face. I love it. It was so
It
cute.
snowed.
Aw.
It snowed, and well, thanks to Instagram, I did cave and I bought the bean a little sled, and then
yeah.
we took him for a spin in his new sled today, and
Little baby sled.
a little baby sled. So here is the dogs and the bean.
And then
Hi.
oh, it's so cute.
Careful.
He's like a little starfish.
And the dogs love him, don't they? The dogs
They
love
do.
him.
Oh, they're
That's
obsessed.
so sweet.
Isn't that funny, bud?
Baby laughing is the best.
Careful. They will. Muffin will lick him. Like that's why I push her away. Like I'm not worried the dogs are gonna like do anything to him, but I just don't want Muffin like licking inside his mouth. 'Cause he'll just be like, like he'll just be like, bring it.
Gross.
I'm just like, stop. But his laughing is little. Cute.
There are so many people in the street in Philadelphia.
See them
Holy
run.
crap.
Already?
Watch them run. Go, Muffin, go.
Did they win? Who won? Who even
Philadelphia did.
won? Okay. The EGSIS or EGLSIS.
How old is he
That
now?
video was absurd. They're like shooting
It's
up. It's
ridiculous.
crazy.
He's gonna be 10 months tomorrow.
Aww.
It goes by
Not even
fast.
a year yet. I can't believe he's not even a year yet. That's crazy.
Where's the snowball? Where's the snowball?
Oh,
I love that he's laughing at him. It's so cute. It's so cute.
Oh, that giggle is adorable.
Where's the snowball, Frankie? Where's the snowball? Where's the snowball?
I love that your baby's like so happy and has a great sense of humor because like
I know.
you're could be
he's like his default is setting is like to be happy. It's so sweet.
Oh, is it? I love that. You know how some babies are not like their default is like being shy and
Yeah.
like angry.
Like, what does he think is happening?
You're just entertained. Like, wouldn't you love to only know that much about life? Like, as a baby, you only know a little bit. Like, and that'd be so nice to only know a little bit. Ugh, love back in that
I feel like
place.
as an adult, I only know a little bit.
I know too much.
He's
I'm
basically just entertained by the dogs. Like this is just like a television episode for him. He's like, oh, like this is great. Like, I'm just being entertained.
Oh, you got the snowball, Frankie. And then he'll eat the snowball. Oh my god, it was so fun.
That's
Oh, he laughed
adorable.
so much. He's so good, and he like can pull himself to standing in the playpen. And I was just like,
has he said anything yet?
He can say "mama," but I don't know if he knows what he's saying. I think
he
might-
knows.
He might have a clue. Like technically, "dada" might have been his first word, but then he's been saying "mama" a lot more.
Aww.
I don't know if
cute.
he wants boob or it's just like what you're a cute bean. I love his cheekies. We went to hibachi. We went to hibachi today, and I was so worried that like the flames and the fanfare was gonna scare him. And he was fine. He was
fine.
He just was like
oh
well the flames he just was like he just around me. It was cute. Oh, it was so cute.
Adorable.
Oh my goodness. And then they had a big like sparkler because it was a birthday, and he just was like fascinated with like, the big sparkler thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was so
I love
annoyed.
sparklers.
It was the first time, like what I love about hibachi is like they bring out the pee-pee boy and then he squirts the pee-pee boy in your mouth. The there's like sake in it, and is this a thing or is it just at this one place? I don't know.
I've never experienced that.
Plastic,
So
yeah, I don't.
Plastic pee-pee boy, and he's got a hat, and he's like, "Hey, you want some?" And he'll spray sake into your mouth.
wow, I've never experienced that.
Okay, please put an F in the chat if your hibachi place does this. The guy has like it's like a plastic boy. I'm describing this horribly, but like if you just sit there, you're like, yeah, I want some. You just let, and like the longer you keep your mouth open, the longer they'll just spray sake into your mouth. And like
so
really,
weird.
That's my favorite
cool.
part of hibachi. But I was like, oh, I'm still breastfeeding. I can't do that. So I was like,
that's wild.
I was like,
Oh,
I
that
really wanted
sucks.
it because you're kind of like testing yourself, like how long can you go? Like how much can you?
A couple of F's in the chat.
All right, a
There's
couple.
some people are saying no.
I know. I'm probably the only one that calls it the pee-pee boy, but
Yeah,
Probably.
I would
sake.
think so.
We'll call it the sake boy. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. All right. Rice wine. Okay, a few people.
Those crazy sparkler candle things.
Mm-hmm.
I burnt my finger on one once, and it was the worst. Like I was like really drunk too because it was my birthday, and I thought they were trying to like light the candle, but it was like too windy, so I went to cover the candle, and then like it lit and it went just right on top of my finger, and I was like all burnt. And then like I immediately became like sober, and I was like, I need to go to the hospital now because it was like literally like just burned, like the entire finger was like so burned.
No.
So don't ever do that, people. Like word to the wise, don't go near the candles.
Never put one in your butt unless it's a long one. Don't. If you ever put one in your
What
butt,
the-
only make sure it's the long one. Just
There
saying.
you go.
Oh, you did that the best. Okay, let's see. Let me get through a couple more of these. Ray, what's up, Ray? Thoughts on the list of spending by the USAID? Oh gosh, where do I find the list? I know that they gave money to the New York Times and Politico.
Yep.
And that's only one. And that's only one thing. That's only one thing. I've been following these NGOs since last September out here in Colorado. The amount of money that has been flowing through these nonprofits and NGOs is just, it's insane. It's insane. Like what's been going on. It's crazy. And they hide the money and it bounces around between different funds and all this so they can hide it more. Like it's crazy.
I haven't been keeping up too much with it, but the other night I saw Bernie Sanders like put on blast by Michael Rappaport of all people. And I was pretty surprised because I was like, dude, didn't Michael Rappaport used to like have fucking major TDS?
Yeah, he's like changed. Yeah, he's changed now. He's like
when
more...
did he change? Like before the win or
I think he voted for Trump. I think he voted for Trump. I'm pretty sure he voted for Trump. It was before that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
President Trump's rapid response team exposes the egregious spending and power of the USAID. They have been completely unaccountable for decades, run by bureaucrats with agendas who believed they answered to nobody. Here are a few more of the ridiculous projects on which they spent your money. $7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. Are you kidding me?
Well, sure. I mean, of course, you have to do that.
$20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. I didn't even know they had the regular Sesame Street show there. $4.5 million
weird.
to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. What does that mean? No Borat? You're up
so
there,
random.
Borat. $1.5 million for
This is just insane.
art for inclusion of people with disabilities. Come on, this
Wow.
is so slushy. $2 million.
Do you guys follow Rando? Do you guys follow Oilfield Rando on Twitter and Rando Land?
No.
He's like set up a thing where since last year he's been posting all these stupid things that the government's been paying for through all these things, and it's just like you read through them and you're like, are you kidding me? Like there's another thing beyond USAID where it's called the Millennium Corporation that was started in the early 2000s that was kind of like to do what the USAID couldn't do, and they got an $80 million grant from the company just to rent a building in DC. $80 million to rent a building in DC for their stupid whatever they're doing. Like it's insane when you dig into this stuff. When you dig in,
Oh my god, the first line right there. What
$2 million for sex changes in LGBT activism in Guatemala. $6 million to transform digital spaces.
It's all gay shit. It's so much gay shit.
All
Like,
gay shit. Feminist democratic principles. $2.1 million to help the BBC value the diversity of Libyan society. Well, what? $10 million for the USAID funded meals, which went to an Al Qaeda linked terrorist group. Great. I can just imagine them eating like crustless PB&Js.
So not like regular Afghani people, like Al Qaeda linked terrorist groups they're feeding. What the fuck?
I hope they are.
and they think all this money goes to help people. The money doesn't go to help the normal people. Even in my county, they say all this money is going towards to help addiction. No, it's just going to salaries for these people who work at the nonprofits. Like that's all it's going towards. It's not helping people.
Exactly.
It's so
Wait, hey,
None of this
$6
stuff
million
helps
for tourism in Egypt. Like, what are they doing? Like, they have.
Why
Like,
are we
Yeah,
paying for
why do you-
this though?
yeah,
Like,
you
why
have
is the
You have the pyramids. Why do you need us to advertise?
right? Like, why
confused.
are American taxpayers paying for this? It's such nonsense.
They've been building it, and they've been building it
But
for so long and
meanwhile-
making these huge webs. They've been making these huge webs of these nonprofits and NGOs that like it's wild what they've done.
Meanwhile, homelessness
Vietnam.
is up.
I know.
18%.
Separate inclusion group in Vietnam. So this wasn't enough.
Wait, I'm confused. Like, don't you
This
guys
is
like
nuts.
the U.S. has like some of the most beautiful places in the world is in the United States. So why not give $6 million to your own tourism? I'm confused.
Right.
$5
Hello.
million for the bat virus research at Wuhan.
Because if you graduated from college with your poli-sci degree, you got this nonprofit job, and you could just write a grant to give yourself $6 million and then like pay a salary out of it, what would you do? Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what
the
it
grift.
is.
That's
Yeah, it's
the
a grift.
This is a grift. Like the true definition of a grift is right here.
I live in a
It is
county
so
that
much.
I live in a county where it's all these people who like love the government. They always vote to give the government more money, and I'm like, what are you?
Oh
why?
God.
It's insane.
It has to change. has to
Hopefully it
change.
is.
$1 million to an Armenian LGBT group. $20 million for a group related to a key player in Russiagate impeachment. Oh, so the taxpayer dollars
Oh,
go into
wow.
Democratic propaganda. Great.
Lovely.
Did you see the comic? There was like a comic in Portugal. They gave there was a grant to the comic and to write a comic, to draw a comic in Portugal about gay stuff. And apparently it was the same comic. It was the
How
same comic who
bizarre.
is part of Eric. Is part of Eric. What's his name?
July?
Sorry. Yes.
Eric
The
July?
comic who Yeah, he got
Really?
money to draw a gay comic in Portugal or something like that.
Oh
in
my
the United
God.
States.
That's a good thing.
So wild.
So weird.
Wild. But you like make your money, but also not off the taxpayers, right? Like it's just.
I really
Yeah,
don't think it was
it's
Eric July, but I'm just gonna.
No, not Eric July. It was one of the comics that draws for him or whatever. It wasn't him, but
I'm dying.
That is
Crazy.
funny.
And $1.5 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica. Is that what they're worried about in Jamaica? Wow.
So who's getting the money? The people aren't getting the money. We're
Right.
not solving
No,
AIDS.
no.
We're not
Corrupt.
helping feed
It's so
them.
corrupt.
Yeah.
It's the leaders are getting
Wait,
it.
$1.3 million to ADAP and Jewish photographers?
Yes, because of
Yes.
that's important.
What are they photographing? Photographying. What
The
are they taking
genocide.
pictures of?
Yeah, go take
Oh,
pictures of the
unfortunately.
genocide. Oh god.
They're like
Yeah.
taking pictures of like their local zoo. It's like
Wow.
fuck.
LGBT
This just
activism
keeps
in
going.
Uganda. It's all gay shit. Why?
Photography.
That's what like half of these nonprofits, all their job is getting more funding from the government. That's their whole job is just getting more funding. There's not helping people. They're not doing anything. They're just getting more money. Like it's so.
And their
God.
screeching about it was insane. I was outside of like the USAID building that the day that they shut it down, and they had their silly little press conference out there, and it was just all the people out there were people who worked for USAID that were protesting. It's not like organic. And then they laid flowers down for the building that said democracy dies in darkness, and first it's us, tomorrow it will be you. And it's like, oh my God, your narcissism is ridiculous. There are like, get a real job. Oh wow. For once you have to have a real job and you don't get to just sit around and spend money on nonsense all day. It's very sad.
Here's Caroline Love.
You're watching live coverage.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces.
Serbia.
$70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. $32,000 for a transgender comic in Peru.
Oh my God, I want to watch that. I would give money to watch that opera. That sounds amazing.
Tramilton.
It's going to be called like, I don't know, something to do with cocaine. Like there has to be cocaine involved.
As an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either. And that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
Woo,
She did
crushing
good.
it. She's only
Yeah, I like
27.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most
I
people
think
don't
she did a
know.
very
Most
good
people
job.
don't. You try to tell these people that the government was paying to like import people into America and they're paying for their rent for a year. Like you try to tell people this and they won't listen. They won't listen and they don't think you're real. And I'm like, yeah, you can follow the money to some extent. Like it's
entire
crazy.
hotels, many hotels.
Yeah, I'm in Colorado. We had 40,000 Venezuelan immigrants came to Colorado, and now there's people
Oh my
protesting.
God.
They're protesting with Mexican flags, and I'm like, they're deporting Venezuelan criminals. Why are
Like
you
these are
having
the only
Mexican
flags we had, okay?
It's all the same.
They're all high school kids because there's all these groups,
Oh.
which Rachel Maddow pushes this group called Indivisible, and there's these people who brainwash people all the time, and that's how they get these people to show up all the time because there's all the left is so organized and like good.
That is
it's
true.
so-
That
Let me
is,
ask you
uh,
ladies
So-
a question. Do you guys like the new press secretary? I think
Oh, the
like,
young girl, the young hot
yeah, the
blonde.
one we just I kind of feel like the old Trump one was better. I personally I liked her better.
Yeah,
I think
Haley
she had a
was
job at,
baller.
like, Fox News now or wherever she works. I don't know.
She's at Fox News now. Although I think if I remember correctly, there was one thing that she did that I didn't like. It may have been in the aftermath of J6. She may have said some things I didn't necessarily like, but I think other than that, she did really good. She used to have this big binder that she would carry with her, and she would just like
I love
flip
that
through
big binder.
whatever page she needed to like refute their nonsense. I thought she was good. I like this lady too because I think she's a little bit more like low key, which I kind of like because I don't really feel like I need to know about these people. Like, just tell us what we need to hear and then, leave. And yeah, that's all we need. But
Yeah,
I
like,
have to leave, ladies. I have to head out for the night. I got to get up at 5 tomorrow.
Oh my God.
see you. Lord have mercy.
Any
Yeah.
other stories or things you want to get into before you bounce, Christina?
I would briefly bring up the Neil Gaiman allegations because I have like a different take than everybody else. I listened to the entire Tortoise Media broadcast about it. I read the Vulture article about it, and I read the complaint filed by his former nanny. And my take on it is that it's kind of bullshit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing.
I think the
made
guy
up.
was creepy. I think he is into like some weird stuff, but my read of like these women's allegations, like if he's being sued for trafficking by one of these ladies, and he was not trafficking anybody. That's ridiculous.
So that's what the NGOs are. The NGOs are trafficking people. That's what
Correct.
they're
And
doing.
it's not like people are like comparing his wife to like Ghislaine Maxwell. They're like, oh, she was procuring women for him. And it doesn't really read like that to me. It reads like they were in an open marriage and she was having relationships with these women and bringing women around him, and he had his fans. And I just think that, so you can listen to like the WhatsApp messages that these women were sending him after he so-called assaulted them. And they're saying things like, thank you for the wonderful, wonderful night we had. And like, they're calling him master. And they're like,
whoa.
Yeah, like the one lady's like, I need you desperately. And, you turned me into.
They consented. They consented to this.
So it sounds
so
like
you think
women just like regret their disgusting relationship with this man.
So you think that he's being Army Hammered? Because that's basically what happened to Army Hammer.
I think his takedown has been a little bit engineered, and he's already lost one of his publishers. They've canceled a bunch of his shows. And these are on the basis simply of allegations. Like there's no criminal case. There's no criminal charges against this man. The one lady filed a police report, but she only did so after the fact, and it was after she consulted her friends, one of whose husband is a lecturer who lectures on coercive control.
Whoa.
And and so like, and then the other friend was like a essay lawyer who lives down the street from Neil Gaiman. And they, after talking to them, they convinced her basically that she had been a victim. And this is a woman with like a history of mental illness that was institutionalized as a child. She had like bulimia, anorexia, and her behavior just strikes me as somebody that like, that is like kind of crazy.
Would you stop and then maybe regret it?
Some of these allegations of like him, like SAing her in front of his own son just sound outrageous to me. It sounds ludicrous. The story about the butter just seems particularly like not believable. And then I was listening to the Tortoise podcast series, and then I watched this Netflix show called Anatomy of a Scandal, and some of the wording is the exact same. They're talking about like, oh, in the UK up until the 90s, it was legal for a man to are his wife because they were married, and they keep bringing up like these talking points and talking about power dynamics and coercive control. And I just feel like there's something going on here, but nobody is really defending him because he's like a creepy, progressive male feminist who said believe all women and defended Amber Heard, and he's like,
he's a male feminist.
Originally, when I read the things. Because when I read some of this stuff too, like the accusation, and they were just so heinous that I was like, oh, like this guy is just so gross. Like if any of this is true, it's like disgusting. But I haven't looked too deeply into it, so
I would listen to the podcast so you can hear the one lady in her own words talking about it, because she's literally giggling during some of this, and I'm like,
whoa.
Some people say it's a trauma response, but like I don't think that it is. And then some of these ladies, their allegations are from like 2 decades ago, and they're just talking about this now. One of them said he made an unwanted pass at her. Like, what does that mean? That's now, you've now been SA'd. You're now a victim. because 20 years ago this dude made an unwanted pass at you. I think that that's kind of crazy. And then the lady that was living, you know, at his house and was like his groundskeeper, she was in like a years-long relationship with him.
Yeah, that one was
you know,
weird.
she was living there with her 3 kids, and they're like, oh, she was dependent on him. No, you're a 50-year-old woman. Like, you're responsible for taking care of yourself and your children.
Because she was alleging that he was basically like forcing her to have sex with him, like for in exchange for.
But
like,
not really though, because she was giving him BJs, you know.
Oh,
and
but I'm
basically,
saying BJs. That's nothing.
But he was holding like the living there for free, like over her head, like because she couldn't afford.
Yeah,
to, like,
but
live
she
somewhere
can
else. I
leave.
don't
But
know.
she can leave. You can't leave. You can always
she can
leave.
leave. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're
You
not
can.
a victim. You know, you put yourself in that situation. And also, for years, she had been living there rent free. She was a ceramic artist, and she got to use.
So
like
she
a
was
little
mad it got cut off. She was mad her paycheck got cut off.
And then she like got $300,000 out of this guy.
Can you send me the
way out.
podcast?
Yeah.
Can you DM it to me?
I have it. So
podcast
I
is
put a video up on my channel, and I have linked all of that stuff. I linked the podcast series. I linked the
Okay.
Vulture article, and
You have to call these women out. You have to call these fake women out who do this because there is bad shit that does happen, right?
There
And these
is,
women,
and there are
the Me
actual
Too
victims of
they've ruined
trafficking,
it.
and like, I'm sorry, but this lady, you know, the babysitter doesn't seem to be one of them to me. Like the first day she meets him, she gets in a tub. Like he asks her if she wants him to run a bath for her. He's like, oh, we have this outdoor bath under the tree.
I read
It's
that
very
one.
enchanting. And she goes, yes, okay. And then she says she was surprised when she learned that this wasn't a private bath. And then he comes down the steps and he's like,
You
nude.
know,
And I'm
women
like,
are
"Get out of the
intuitive. You
bath.
know what you're
Get
you
out
know
of
what we're
the bath. What are
doing.
you thinking?
Yeah.
I have been a homeless young woman, and at no point in my life would I go to a rich man's house and within 3 hours of meeting him, take off my clothes and get into a tub outside. In an
You know
outdoor
what they're
tub.
doing. You know what they're doing.
She knew what
Like,
she was
women
doing.
know
And
what they're
she's
doing.
20 years
Yeah.
old. Like, these are not minors, or it's just seemed to me like there were women who engaged in a disgusting relationship with him, didn't get what they wanted, had regrets. And I think, you know, one of them is like literally setting him up. The babysitter is suing him for $7 million. And she did weird things, like she took notes on her phone for every interaction she had with him, starting on the first day. The day after the bathtub incident, she's taking selfies of herself, like looking sad. She's texting her friends going, I think boundaries might have been crossed, but she's texting him saying, thank you for the wonderful, wonderful night. But this is supposed to be like an assault that happened.
That doesn't make
So
sense.
it just seems weird
Yeah.
to me. Yeah.
They do that to
It-
sports
and,
people. There's like that girl who does it to sports guys. There's
Yeah,
that girl who
Lindsay,
like,
I read about these cases.
Trevor Bauer, right?
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
We covered the Trevor Bauer thing and that crazy lady. So but this is just my initial take on the situation. There could be more that comes out. I could be totally wrong, but my initial vibe
no, women,
is like,
we know
oh, this is
women. We know women. We know women. We know what
yeah,
they're
and then
up to.
they're going to start pushing for like stronger, you know, SA laws in the UK, where now like coercive control, and you have to get consent for everything you do, every kiss. Like, could you imagine if a man came up to you and said, "Was it okay if I kiss?" If your husband is like, "Can I touch your breath?" It's just so
I'm
weird.
like, you know, you don't have to ask.
Yeah, it's just a
that's
very
crazy.
strange. So that's all I wanted to touch on. You know, I could
I'm
I could
definitely
be
gonna
wrong
check out
about
your
the
video.
situation,
Yeah.
but that was my read. And with that, I will leave you guys to it.
Oh, thank you, Christina. Where can everybody follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter. It is not Radix, and my YouTube channel is Radix Verum.
Awesome.
That's where you can find me.
Can't wait to check out your film whenever that comes out, hopefully soon.
I know, I can't wait for it to be done.
But we will promote the heck out of it when it does. Thank you for coming
you.
on, Christina.
Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my God, she put in the private chat like I have to go at like 10:35.
Like an hour ago. It was like an hour ago.
Oh, I didn't see it. I suck. Okay. Right now, so it's been like a year since Meghan Kelly said Jeff Stein Jeff Steen was still alive. I think Big Balls was the shot across the bow. Thank you, Rhinoceros. We was MAGAs. We can't even send Brittany D pics for her birthday. Oh, too bad.
And
did
Divanera.
Did the turtle make any noises when he peed on her? No, it was silent. Complete silence.
Do you still have the tortoise? Do you still have him?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Aw, they live forever, right?
They live 60 years. They live a very long time. He's our pandemic tortoise. Mark of reality. I went to the Orlando meetup as you suggested. I had a lot of fun. I finally got to meet Disparu and Wicked Virtue. I met X-Ray again and the others. Ryan was making moves on the dance floor. Oh, was he drunk? He's a very good dancer. Good. I'm glad you had fun. The pictures look really good.
My friends got to meet Lila last week at the
wow.
stripper. On his 40th birthday in the UP of Michigan. I'm like, you have to go and meet Lila.
Oh, that's so great.
I know. I wish it was
a great show.
And Lila's so sweet because she's like sober and sweet, and they're all like disgusting strippers in a good way. I mean that in a good way. I'm a disgusting person too, but like I love that she does that. It's so sweet. It's sweet.
Good. It's like boot camp for comedy because it's not the most comedy friendly situation, but that's all the stuff that makes it better.
And she makes it work. Like, and if you're in that niche market, you might as well like do it. I hope she's making good money because I love it.
This is the best. The John Beck, congrats on your little guy. Oh, thank you. He's the best. I highly recommend it.
And he's 10 months. 10 months.
He's 10 months. Yeah, he can crawl. He's only been crawling about a month.
You kept him alive. Good job. You kept him alive. Like,
you did it.
You did it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I even pumped during the show. Hooray. Rhinoceros, I prefer Levitt any day over Saki breast spewing lies all day.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't really counting Saki or the other one, like I don't know what
Korean John Pierre.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She was awful. She was awful.
Question: why are you gay? Answer: USAID. Yeah.
No kidding.
That'll do it.
Jerry D. Sills, thank you for the yellow boy. As I see her with my green eyes, my soul aflame, a heart taken by surprise. To win her heart, what can I do? Maybe write her a poem or two. For feelings are true, the best for her is what I'll do. Is this like Dr. Seuss?
Aww.
I love this.
That's
Jerry.
nice. Well done.
Just in time for Valentine's Day.
Sweet.
Thanks, Jerry. I don't know who that was for. I'll just assume it was for me. Oh, here's the Gaiman article from that Radix was referring to. Let me pull it up for a second. I
don't know anything about this situation.
Yeah, I don't even know who he is. But I can imagine it was a rich dude and women's were trying to get money out of him. So there was weird
Yeah, but I do think that saying like women can just leave is pretty unfair. Like, I mean, not necessarily.
Yeah, no, there is
no, like
nuance.
I have to read.
Sometimes you can't just leave. I'm not saying
all
about
the stuff that I was reading was really, really heinous. Like I was like, oh my god, like this.
I don't even know who he is. Who is he? Is he
a creator of Coraline? And there's another. He's a comic book creator. There's another. What's the one from Netflix? So he has a show on Netflix now that they made adaptation from his comic book. Oh my god! The Sandman. The Sandman. And that one they just.
I guess he wrote for Doctor Who. Someone says he wrote for Doctor Who in the chat. So he's a writer.
Yeah, he created Sandman. That's right. And then they just canceled that, and they canceled his deal with I think Dark something comics. I forget what their comic book company called. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't like it when like people get canceled over just allegations. Like I like when there's like actual due process.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that happened with Justin Baldoni. Like they dropped him from their talent, like his talent agency dropped him right when Blake Lively like complained about it. I just put out a video about that. That's why I was late because I was finishing up that video.
Awesome.
But it was like the second these people get some type of complaint, it's like their career is usually over. And that's kind of what happened to Justin Baldoni. So I have to look way more into this. But the stuff that this guy's being accused of is a lot more heinous than what Justin Baldoni is being accused of. So
So two women
Well, it
have
sounds like
accused
more
Meghan-
people.
Two women have accused
A
Gaiman
lot more
of
people.
sexual assault while in consensual relationships with the author. The allegations go back 2 decades, but they were first reported on in Tortoise's podcast Master. The allegations against Neil Gaiman, which was released on Wednesday, the women described the allegations of rough and degrading sex, alleging that these instances were not always consensual. Yeah, then why wouldn't you leave? What would stop somebody from just bouncing?
Well, the 3 kid woman, they weren't his kids, right? So she got with him when she had already 3 kids, is what I understand. Or
So that she was like using him for housing. One
Yeah.
of the 2 accusers,
Which
23-year-old woman. Which
I
you
get
get
to some extent.
I can't
mean,
imagine
rent is
doing that.
expensive, I guess. I don't know. Like
you make shit work sometimes, but then if it doesn't work out, is it a crime that it doesn't work out? I don't know.
I don't know. Then just find somebody to marry if you're looking for somebody to like house your kids. I don't know. It just seems really dicey to just
Yeah,
depend on.
it wasn't like that's why I said like I agree with Lauren, like you can't just leave sometimes, but if it's someone who like you came into it later on in life or something like that, that's all. It was a choice.
Yeah. One of the 2 accusers, a 23-year-old woman named Scarlett, claims she was sexually assaulted in February of 22, just hours after first meeting Gaiman. According to Scarlett, the assault happened at the bath. This is the bath story. At the New Zealand home where she was hired to work as a nanny. Gaiman says the 2 merely cuddled and made out that day, adding that a 3-week sexual relationship ensued, entirely consensual. She insists he was rough and degrading, reportedly messages, notes, and accounts from friends.
Yeah, they go into detail, man, because I read
Okay.
some of the detailed stuff and it's
Yeah.
it's
Sounds
bad.
gross. I can't
But
imagine.
also stop. Just stop texting them if someone's gross to you. Like
That's
why would
what I
you
think
keep
too.
texting?
Like the only reason to like have this kind of a paper trail would be like you want to sue for this guy's money, but I don't know.
Or you're into it. And see, that's what I'm talking
Or
about.
you're
Like,
into it.
like that's what happened with Army Hammer because he was involved with like this weird like fetish, like S&M, like weird
Right.
people. And then one of them ended up being a stalker of his. And she's the one that basically ruined his entire life. So,
Whoa.
and then she came out and she was like, oh, I'm gonna like, like he tried to eat me and blah, 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 like all this stuff. But it was all consensual when it was going on at the time. And then like later on, she came out and was like, he's gross and he wanted to do all this stuff to me while he was married. But he was trying to like get out of it. It was like a whole thing, I don't know if you watched his interview with Piers Morgan. Actually, it was a good interview. But he kind of goes into it. Now he's like on his way back now because like if people found out that this guy was basically completely railroaded.
Yikes.
I mean, like he's gross and he has weird fetishes, but
Well, like that, or Aziz Ansari when they just had like a weird sexual experience, and then she tried to ruin his life over it. It was like you could have just left, or like at that point,
Yeah. It seems like if you're a rich guy or like a rich celebrity, you have to be so careful. It's like even more of a reason to just find somebody good and get married and like lock it down and don't leave yourself vulnerable.
And any sexual experience, if you're not into it, don't do it. Leave. Like just leave. Like I don't know. I've just always been that way in life where I'm like, I'm not into this. I'm out. Bye. And I'm not gonna try to like blame them for it.
There's some. It's not black and white, right? Like I mean, sometimes
there's nuance.
Leave, and then sometimes like especially in cases where you're groomed and you have no idea what's going on, and then you later on in life realize that you've been groomed, and you're like, oh my god, like the things I went through is pretty insane. So it's not, you can't just leave
the groom stuff is different. But if you're already an adult, that's what I'm coming from.
Of course.
Can adults be groomed, do you think?
No, probably technically.
Depends
and they can
on,
be
like,
financially and they can definitely be financially you can be like, put into a spot. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't like naggers with an A. Wicked Virtue is hot as hell. Thank you. Rhinoceros shouts to Forest Mommy. I'd go on that hike. Ooh.
Hell yeah.
We was
Ew.
mangas. If Hansel and Gretel taught us anything, it's that kids will be fine on their own. What?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, kind of, because like Gen X and older millennials, we were all on our own, after school and stuff. And I feel like most of us turned out
That's
fairly
true.
okay, right?
I was very much
Before
okay.
internet, though. Just before internet, so.
Chrissy,
Well,
can
some of us turned out okay.
yeah, we start the filthy dating fund. We could do POV on Patreon content. What?
Huh?
Yeah, filthy is my my tech support here.
But what's Patreon?
I don't know.
Okay.
Patreon? Is it Patreon?
Oh, maybe
Patreon.
Patreon. Okay.
Maybe
it's a misspell.
I mean, if fealty is down, I'm down. We could do.
We was MAGAs in the chat, so we're all fucked. Yeah, we are all fucked up. But as long as you don't fuck up somebody else purposely, it's all good. That's what I feel like.
Please no. I don't want to end up like an Army Hammer or any of these guys. I'm good single till I'm 50.
Oh, what happens when you're 50? Okay,
Then
this
I
I want.
turn gay.
Wow.
Why are you gay? So remember Nala, who famously had an OnlyFans. She was like top percent earners, and then she became Christian. She found her faith. She converted. I wanted to, and I was trying to log into my Instagram, but I kept failing the CAPTCHA test. So I wonder if somebody else can help me bring this up. So apparently Nala is baking, and we have to figure out if this is too sexual.
Oh my God. Is this like Cake Gate 2.0?
It is. This is from Abby.
Yo, what's that other girl? What was that other girl's name?
That
did the
Isabella DeLuca.
Yeah, Isabella.
The Nala baking video is subtly sexual. I don't think she intended it to be. She spent years making hardcore prawn. Her entire identity was about being sexually desirable to the extreme. I think she's got a lot of little subtle habits in her mannerisms and facial expressions that will take time and intentionality to break.
Why
and
is someone
change.
thinking this deeply about another person? That's weird to me.
I think it's fair to point these things out to her. Yeah, I agree. But
Wait, are we wanting to watch this video, Chrissy? Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. But if I mean, she's not naked, so
what do I type? Like Nala?
Yeah, fitness_Nala the baking video.
Okay.
And the whole thing they were mad about Isabella was because she has big boobs, but she had a whole full on shirt on, and they're like, oh, ooh, and I'm like, what are you supposed to do when you have big boobs? You have what are you supposed to freaking do?
Yeah,
there's nothing. Yeah.
Compared to what she used to do, it's trad and pure. Give her some credit for the distance she's come, and give her the benefit of the doubt that she's a work in progress, and God does not reject her for being perfect yet. Oh, and look, she is either married or engaged. Good for her.
I don't know if this is the video, but should I got our account. You want to see it?
Yes.
Isn't the world is so weird now, isn't it? Like, I'm glad I'm old because
this is like the cooking video. I don't know if this is
she's making dinner for her and her husband.
And like a basic full-on long sleeve t-shirt. Like, it's not even fitted to her.
Looks angry. What
is
she
this
making?
the same video? I don't know. If
No, I think it's a baking one. Although I am now intrigued. What is she making? Oh, she's not even.
What is she
Something
doing?
Mexican.
She's not even
Beans
draining
and-
the beans.
Yes, tacos.
Tacos.
Something.
This looks easy. She's making it look easy.
This is called slop.
I'm pretty sure I can be her mom, technically.
Oh, look,
actually,
she's making
but-
nachos.
Oh,
Ew, what's that? What is that? Is that queso?
Like mayo?
I made queso today.
Sour
The
cream,
bad
maybe?
kind.
Sour cream,
I made Velveeta queso today. Hell yeah.
Oh, those are scoops too.
It's probably sour cream.
I have never in my life made nachos.
Neither have I, and I live in Mexico.
It's gross
Nachos
because the
are
best
good for you.
nachos have the canned chicken, which is terrible, but those are that's the best thing for that. I love that stuff. It's so gross, but I love
I
it.
think this is a baking. This is a
Is this
oh,
the
this might
baking one?
is this
Cinnamon
it?
rolls?
Oh, okay. She's doing her like rolling her eyes up. But that
Has
was
Pearl posted that?
But
Has
don't we
Pearl
all
posted
do
about
that
her?
when don't we all roll our eyes like that when we're, eating something really good? I mean, every time I eat chocolate, I'm like, oh, this is so good.
What's it called? The Asiago face?
Yeah, something like I don't know what is that what it's
She
called?
has the good KitchenAid too. I have the
Lauren, do you
KitchenAid where you
know?
can lift it
Lauren,
up.
do you know about the Asiago face?
I
It's an
unfortunately
anime.
do. Yeah, I do.
Anime thing.
But it's
It's an anime thing.
I just I don't know. I don't want to say
Okay.
I just
She
don't care
got
about
thingy.
this
So that
girl.
was
I
I
don't want to
don't
say
care.
that on your show, but like I don't know.
I don't
Is
care
it
about this
henna?
stuff either. I don't know
I
what's
mean,
going on
like,
anymore
it's
in the world.
It's fine. I don't really have anything to add to the conversation.
Okay,
I'm
she's
not trying to be. I'm not trying to be like a curmudgeon about it. Sorry.
You can be a curmudgeon.
I am one all the time. No, I just like
Curmudge away.
Wow. This is like
I am
food
now. I am now that I'm old. Like
She's
I'm
making
a
a cinnamon
curmudgeon
roll.
too. It's fine.
This is definitely food porn.
I wish I could make money off of making cinnamon rolls. Like that'd be awesome.
I mean, I just don't. I think
you
that
do
the
real
more-
work, Elle. You do real work.
Yeah.
You give me entirely too much credit, Miss.
No, I
Money.
don't. No, I
You do.
don't. You are. Listen to me, Elle. What you do is very important, and it's great for the world. You helped me find about my city council person who signed some stupid thing to bring more immigrants over and stuff. Like that's important. That stuff's important.
I appreciate that.
I'm saying.
No, but like I
Yeah.
just it tends to be that people like Nala or whomstever. The more threads that are written debating her, chastity
Yeah,
or
it's
lack
stupid.
thereof,
The
or
more
it's
she
like,
exists.
like it's the same thing with that. I don't even want to bring her up, but like the girl that slept with like 100 dudes and then was like the more
Bonnie
attention
Blue.
you give this,
Like, thank God our dads weren't online sharing. They're like, "Oh, look at this gross girl who slept with 100 men." I'm like, you're sharing it. Like, you're gross for
Yeah.
sharing it almost.
I mean, and granted, I'm not like I've definitely have like given traction to stuff that I certainly shouldn't have, but
Yeah.
there's
I agree, Elle, because I was like the other day. Sorry. I thought
No,
you
go ahead.
I went through that whole thing where everybody was posting about that porn girl, like the one that like slept with 1,000 men or something. And at one point I was just like, okay, we need to just all stop talking about her. Like we can't like this.
Right.
This is why is this even news? Like I don't
because
want to
you're
know.
teaching her that this will make her a lot of money and get her, for everyone who
Yeah, it
was,
works.
talking about it publicly, saying, "Oh, this is disgusting,"
But they
who
shared
knows
it.
how
They
many-
shared it.
Well,
They
like who
shared
knows
it.
how many people silently like went and like paid for like access, or, or whatever. That in general, I don't know.
That's a
I-
lot
no,
from the
I'm-
conservative side.
The silence.
They are
we
like,
gotta stop like advertising for these. It was
Well-
free advertising. Those bitches got free advertising from like literally everybody.
and they're like, I'm
It's
looking at
not.
porn. I'm looking at porn, but I don't like it. But I'm going to share it. And that's like that's the same thing as just share, like you as
They
appreciating
want ad
it.
revenue.
Yeah.
Although, like, I don't know how to feel about this Nala girl though, because I did see, for example, Pearl, like she was posting like her like porn photos.
Actual porn. Yeah, she
like-
posted her actual porn, didn't she? I have her
Yeah,
blocked,
like
but I think I
she
saw other
posted her
Whoa.
actual porn photos, and she was
Ooh,
like, "This
that's
But
icky.
that's like
not changed." and
that's what
blah,
they
blah,
do.
blah.
They're like, I can look at it
know.
if I can look at it if I don't like it. If I can share it and don't look at it if I say it's bad. But I'm like, you're doing the same thing as looking at it. You're
Right.
still looking at it. Like,
But I'll also like she was trying to say like, "Oh, this chick still does it," but she doesn't though. So it was like I don't like I didn't get. The
and she's
connection.
married, unlike Pearl, and she's married, unlike Pearl.
I
No
think
wonder
they want to demonize. I think there's a sense among some on the right, like somebody like Nala cannot truly change.
Yeah.
And like, we're gonna forever reject this type of person because of their past. And
Because
I
the
think
men
they're-
were watching her,
Christianity
and it was the men who were watching her and making her more into a whore. Like it's the men's brains who are saying she can't change. So it's like it's a weird thing.
Well, it's
It's a
actually a
weird
lot of
thing.
women saying she can't change.
And
This,
women.
that's
And women too.
that's a crazy part. I actually think there's actually
Because they
more
couldn't get a
women
man to take care
saying-
of them. Because they couldn't get a man to take care of them, and they're like, "Why is this whore get a man to take care of her?" You know, it's
what?
like a whole.
Someone like Nala, it's you're doing this journey, you're finding your faith. You should be doing it for yourself and not for an online persona. If you happen to also be an online person or a public figure and that goes along with it, fine. But know that this comes with the territory that people are going to be very sus of you for quite some time,
Judgy.
and you have to just walk the walk and live in it and eventually prove people wrong. It might take a few years for her to be like, oh wow, I guess she really stopped doing porn, and in the meantime people are going to be constantly reminding her of her past
Because they think about it, because they're always thinking about her getting fucked or whatever. Like it's their in their minds, it's in their heads.
right. And I don't think about it because
Yeah.
I've never seen any of her work, so
Yeah, me either. I mean, like the crazy part about the whole porn thing too is like, for example, I mean, I saw fucking Kanye today posted the porn, and it was like it was weird.
Whoa, that was wild. Like I actually I was like, did
And he's
he
posted
really?
anti-porn stuff
I-
before, right?
I
He's been
looked
like,
up
porn's bad.
I looked up his profile and I was like, oh, okay. Yep,
Yeah,
here it
I didn't
is.
look.
Yeah, but it was weird though, because like what's weird about it is that like he went through that whole Christian phase. So it's like, are you done with that now? Like, because he had that
He's so
Christian
messed
album.
up. He's had so
I
many
think he's
weird
also
things where
crazy.
you know, yeah, they've done weird shit
I
to
think
him. I
he
think, and
had a feeling that he was going to get, from what I was reading in his all cap tweets, he had a feeling that he was going to be banned on Twitter anyway. So he just he thought, fuck it, I'm just going to post all this porn.
oh, is he banned?
Or-
Is he banned right now? I just tried to pull
I
him
don't
up.
know
Is
if-
he banned?
I don't think
I think he
so.
got finally
Let me
banned.
check. Or
It's
he's
not
trying
porno.
to do this freedom of speech thing with Elon Musk. Like, well, I can just pull this up. Nothing's stopping me from posting straight
But he used
up
to say
porn.
he was like anti-porn. He's like, porn is the worst thing ever, blah blah blah. And then
Yeah, I
posts
guess he is
porn.
banned.
He
He's
or he
gone.
deleted
Yeah.
his account.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I think
Here, I'm gonna share this.
he gone.
It says after 2 days, Kanye West has deactivated his account, so he left him by himself.
He was being crazy. I mean, I get it. I'm a crazy person too. Like he was
I'm
being
logging.
crazy.
Oh, what did he say? I'm logging.
I'm logging out of Twitter. I appreciate Elon for allowing me to vent. It has been very cathartic to use the world as a sounding board. It was like a what?
An ayahuasca trip.
Oh, an ayahuasca trip. Love
Oh,
all
God.
you gave me the energy and attention. Till we connect again. Good afternoon and good night. What a
When
weirdo.
was this? 10:48 Eastern. Is that when he did it? 10:48?
Just missed it.
10:48. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eastern.
Interesting. I responded to one of his posts because he said something about like, oh, Kendrick's allowed at the Super Bowl, but Puff Diddy or P Diddy isn't. And I'm like, well, didn't P Diddy fuck kids? Or like, did you all fuck kids? And you think that's like not weird or something? Like it was.
Yeah, but he also
deactivated.
posted that whole thing about like fucking how Diddy beat his wife, and he's like,
Yeah, he said he hit people.
girlfriend.
He's like, I hit girls. Yeah.
No, well,
Weird.
he was like, imagine risking something like this for like this is like what love means, like some shit like that. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm actually worried for that Bianca girl because I think like he's probably beating that shit out of her like on a regular basis.
Or hid all her clothes. So she had nothing to wear to the
Mm-hmm. She
Grammy.
had nothing to wear. Poor girl.
I mean, she's hot. I understand why you show off your body when you're that hot, but
She is.
also
She's like hotter, younger Kim Kardashian.
But she always does that though. It's not even like it was something new. She was wearing like basically the same.
She's always
She always
wearing weird
wears
stuff. Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
And he's had so many weird things where like you could tell he's probably contacted by like the deep state or whatever at different times where he's had different like meltdowns and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, like who knows? It's so weird.
I saw an
It's
article
all-
pop up the other night, like about him, and I was like, he's been diagnosed with autism. And I was like, really? Like this is like this is what we're gonna come out with and excuse this behavior because of autism?
Yeah. It's not
yeah.
enough. We was Magus. Is she gonna fart on that cake? What? Oh, from the Nala thing. You know, as always, ask yourself before buying the grift. Would people be interested in watching this girl cook if they hadn't seen her with her butt gaping open. That's very
Yeah, I
tough.
think they would actually.
I think they
You'd be
would.
surprised how many people like watch cooking videos and like just watch people.
If you look nice, people want to watch you. If you look nice, if you're cute and,
and
pretty,
if the
people want to
food
look at
looks
you.
good, like if the food looks good, a lot of people watch cooking videos. It's a thing.
Yeah.
She was making cinnamon rolls. I read somewhere years ago that there's something about the smell of cinnamon rolls that like does something to a man's brain, and it makes him, like in a good way. Like, yeah,
That's
makes him want
funny.
to stick around.
I want a fucking
Cinnamon is a good
roll.
smell.
Right?
Cinnamon is good smell.
That's why Cinnabon has such a hold over people.
It's so good.
I want some right now. Like, dude, we don't
thing.
have Cinnabon here, but we do have
Yeah.
churros though, but it's kind of similar. But
I think of Cinnabon as like airport food now, but like
it is.
when you're at the airport, you're like, I want a cinnamon roll.
that's
And
like
it-
me, like
churros
going to
are
the
good.
mall.
It.
Every time I go to the mall in the States, I'm like, I'm going to Cinnabon. It's happening.
Oh, I haven't been to the
Oh,
mall in
yeah.
forever, but like Aunt Annie's or whatever to get those pretzel bites.
They would have cinnamon pretzels, and they have cinnamon like sugar pretzels now too at Annie's, Annie's or whatever it's called.
I just
I've
like
never
small
been to
pretzels with like mustard.
Yeah, I like savory pretzels too. I mean, I'll eat whatever. I'll eat whatever.
I don't. I only like regular pretzels.
Sugary?
Yeah.
We
With
never eat that.
mustard or
They're gonna be sticky for shopping. I don't want to do that.
No.
I want to stick
Like
it up.
salted pretzels, yes, because it's classic. But other than that, like, ugh. No.
I don't want
eat
to fly
any of
anywhere
them.
now though.
You're done flying.
Yeah, I know, because they're all
No.
crashing. That was a show I was watching the other night for UL, and they were like looking all the stuff up, the stats from like the past. They're like, actually, they've all been crashing, and little planes
Well,
crash all the time.
Well, they do. There's like 2 or 3 like airline incidents pretty much per day. But that's the deadliest crash we've had on our shores and since 9/11, which, is kind of its own
The
thing.
helicopter
The
one?
helicopter one?
No, I'm sorry. Well, yes, but I guess I was thinking of like the people on the flight, like the 70 people.
Yeah.
The fact that they had their forget the name of transponder like turned off is wild to me. I know that
Oh.
makes sense for like a military aircraft, but where they were that ain't the place for
And it was a commercial flight. It was a normal commercial flight, right?
Yeah, but they diverted from the other runway, like right at the last, which happens all the time. But it just, what a mess. And
What exactly did happen? Because I didn't actually like figure. I didn't keep
the
up.
helicopter, the Black Hawk helicopter, and the
Black Hawk
American
they
Airlines?
had their transponder off. There was an amateur flying along with 2 people who were like seasoned, like had plenty of flight experience, but they were like hovering right there and like in line with the runway. The flight they were supposed to land on a different runway, which would have missed, but they at the very last second, ATC rerouted them to that runway. The Blackhawk had their like transponder off so that they didn't, whenever you look at like the flight radar or whatever, like you see them because they have those things on. And it makes sense for a military aircraft to be able to turn that off, but just the whole thing was just absurd.
Do you
from
think
top
it's
to
like
bottom.
some sort of like conspiracy thing, or do you think it's like
I don't
like human error?
Well, certainly it's human error. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, to be quite honest. I do have like some like slightly. I know some people who work on a Black Hawk contract that were saying that they were trying. They're like the answer they're trying to get right now is essentially like, at what point was the like signal turned off, and was there any sort of reason why? And that might have been solved by now, but that was like the last kind of insider word I got, and that's not necessarily like not even that.
And it was a
insider.
training flight. The helicopters doing training stuff, right?
I think so. The girl was an like a volunteer / like just I guess, there have been more close calls in the last few years than like even on January 14th, I think it was before Trump took office. It was over, I think Phoenix, like 2 planes in midair came within like 1,500 feet of each other, which is like that is like so
That's crazy.
insane. the most deadly airline incident, aside from like a 9/11 situation, was a mid runway collision in the 70s, I believe. It killed like 580 people. So like these like collisions, they are catastrophic, especially if you're taking off, because you have like full, full of fuel.
You haven't even served the drinks yet.
These are freak accidents though, but what's more prevalent now is the fact that the fucking planes are actually falling apart. Like that's crazy, is the fact that like
that has been happening.
The 737 MAX one still scares the shit out of me. And the fact that they like sent them up, like the fact that those pilots were doing everything they could, but the is like the altitude, I forget the word for
The
it.
helicopter was too high. The helicopter was too high, right?
Well, it's about like with the 737 MAX was there were the planes that kept like grounding. I think there was one in Ethiopia and somewhere else where like they were just like the pilots were trying to override this like software that would, if there was any sort of like loss of altitude, it would it would correct it, but it kept like they would shut it down and it would reboot itself and then take back over. That's why like I think
what the fuck?
Yeah, like it's horrifying. Like because most
crazy.
I don't know.
My mom was on a flight and she told me, she was like, I was getting really disturbed because she was in like the like the first row. And she's like, I was getting really concerned because I see this like pilot, and she was like, at first she was like really happy because it was like a white guy. So she was like, white male pilot. Yeah, and then she's like, wait a minute, what the fuck's going on? Because the dude was just standing there flirting with the fucking flight attendant for like the entire flight, and she's like,
well, that's airline pilots. Airline pilots are always flirty. They're always.
But she gets up. And she goes and talks to them, and she's like, well, who's driving the plane? And they're like, oh, it's just on autopilot. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's kind of scary because the guy's just left the fucking thing on autopilot and he's just like hanging out with a fucking stewardesses.
No,
like,
you have to be behind the wheel.
Yeah, you gotta be behind the wheel. What the fuck? Like that kind of shit really gets to me because I'm like,
they said some of the China people are trying to compete with Boeing, and the China people like infiltrated Boeing to some extent too, and were like canceling the inspectors, or like they weren't even inspecting or something. Like that stuff's so bizarre to me. I know that was James Lindsay brought that up, I remember, and he was like, yeah, they were like, we didn't inspect the plane that is exactly in competition with this Chinese company. And like it was just weird stuff like that.
Well, Boeing is just fucking like, it's a mess. Like Boeing as a company, like needs to, I don't know what needs to happen there, but they need a rehaul.
I've been, casually digging into. People have been saying that they're like, if you're checking in for your flight, it won't actually list the correct plane. It'll say it's going to be like an Airbus or whatever, but they actually get there and it's a Boeing flight.
And they change fucking planes all the time.
I don't know. I don't know if this is something that kind of always happens, and it's just like because people are paying attention, it's of course it's like getting more traction, but it seems to kind of skew towards them listing them as like an Airbus, like, 330 or whatever the like plane number is, and then they get there and it's a Boeing, which is a completely, different
Boeing 777, right?
Even when the 737 was the one that had that software thing. But I mean, even in South Korea, it was a bird strike. You can be doing everything right, and you can still have like that was what brought down the Sullenberger flight that landed in the Hudson.
Sully, yes.
So like, I mean, you can be doing everything right, and you can still hit a bird, and I mean that killed the crash at the end of 2024 in Korea killed like 200 people. And that was, they were doing everything right. They just hit birds. That's not really something.
There are accidents. There's always going to be an accident. Statistically, there will always be some accidents.
Right, but I'm saying, like, on top of,
you have the whole sky.
It was a Canadian goose too, wasn't it?
There though, like I feel like a fucking plane shouldn't go down because of a bird.
Sullenberger flight.
I know. How come we haven't made our planes bird proof yet?
Yeah, like where's the bird proof? That's what we need. Bird proof.
That's
like
why we
saying
still
if-
need humans. That's why we still need humans driving it. It can't be totally
That would
automated.
be like
'cause
if
it's-
cars, every time you hit a deer or a armadillo or whatever, like, oh, your car might. And that sometimes happens.
It's done. No.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It is horrible. I've never hit a deer.
I'm flying somewhere in April. This is
Knock on
awesome.
We totally did the same thing.
I read a lot about airline accidents, so sorry I brought that up. But it's
No,
just-
I love
No.
it. It's interesting.
That's your show the other night was good because you brought up like, okay, it's happening a lot right now, it seems, but it happens all the time too. Like
deadly airline incidents are happening at increased, especially in countries where you wouldn't
America.
expect it to be happening. Well, in the United States and in Korea, I mean, like, there are some janky airlines that run, like, I guess within the continent of, like, say, Africa. That, like, it's like things like that happen, and
Frontier.
you look at like the cumulative flight experience of the pilots and the like crew, and it's kind of
notice
it's not-
things. You're noticing.
Well,
There's
there's pattern, and you can sometimes recognize them, but like it's happening in countries where you wouldn't necessarily expect it, and we haven't had, again, like a deadly airline incident in. I was trying to remember this earlier, and I should have looked it up, but there was like a flight a couple of years ago where, like, do you remember like a full window like came out of the flight, and it was like over like,
I
Denver
saw
or
one.
something
I
like
saw a
that.
video
Wild.
where the inside of the plane completely started falling apart because of turbulence. So, like, basically, like all the fucking like the oxygen tanks and stuff fell, then the casing fell, and then their entire like roof and lighting started to fall, where the strip was for the the lighting for the luggage holders. It was fucking wild. And like they basically, people are all like just staring at like everything falling apart around them, the food carts going crazy. I'm
this
like,
like
what the
an IKEA
fuck?
plane? Or
The window one was crazy. The window one.
I'm
was
gonna try
crazy.
and find the video. I'm gonna try
Yeah,
and find
a
the
lo-
video of that.
One of the craziest plane crashes or like plane incidents that's ever happened, that like you can see, like was Aloha flight 243. If you look up pictures of that, there's like a couple of theories about what happened. This happened back in like 1988, so this is a long time ago. But there's a lot of theories about what happened. One flight attendant was sucked out of the plane, and the plane experienced,
Not in a good way.
experienced explosive decompression, and like the entire top of the plane was torn off. And there are people who suspect, there's a couple of different theories about what happened, but there was a small hole in the fuselage right above where the flight attendant was, and there are some people that theorize that she could have formed what is known as a fluid hammer, which is a horrible thing to even really.
Fluid hammer.
But so she was sucked into that hole when she plugged, like the change in pressure of the cabin like so rapidly caused the explosive like decompression that ripped the top off. But if you look at pictures of this flight, I mean, it's like half the plane is missing. It was like bending. They're trying, and aside from the one flight attendant, I believe everyone else lived. One fatality.
She like filled the hole. She filled the hole
out of the hole.
So people don't know exactly what happened, but there's a couple of theories, and that's one of the ones that seems the most plausible. I mean, like physics-wise, but I mean, it's pretty horrible.
So
to
what?
think
Her
about.
bones, like
her body. Her body. filled the
like
hole.
when you're talking about forces past a certain, like, it's like whenever there's like a diving bell incident,
or that submarine, the submarine where they all disappeared.
Well, but there's also like the Byford dolphin incident, which I wouldn't look those up on the. The human body is very resilient, but when we're talking about forces that are like completely not something that like you can.
It's not normal.
Your skeleton isn't gonna save you
to be
past
there
a certain extent. So like you can be sucked through a hole the size of a silver dollar. it's
And
not
not
gonna-
in a good way.
No, yeah, exactly. So anyway, sorry, that's very
No,
a
it's
little bit-
fascinating.
No,
That's
it's
like
real. This is real
the
life.
body-
This is
the
real
human
life.
body was not made to be up in the air that high, so that's why we don't have protections against holes.
So here, sorry. Look at this picture.
Air holes.
I just put a link. Oh wait, that's gonna be. Hang on.
Oh wait, that's Kanye's porn. Just kidding.
Oh no.
Well, just
He deactivated. What a pussy. He deactivated.
Because there's an
Aw.
asterisk, it's like cutting off the URL halfway through. But if you copy that whole thing, that's a picture of like that one like Aloha flight 243 of like what it
shoot,
looked
I
like
can't.
after the crash. Or well, it didn't crash, but after the
I'm
incident.
clicking on it. It's not.
So you're gonna have to because there's an asterisk in the URL. You're gonna have to just like select.
You
I
gotta
know.
do
I'm
copy and
sorry.
paste
You
it.
gotta. You gotta.
I have
like,
to do hoops. Okay,
I'm
hold on.
sorry.
You
But,
can
like,
do
you're
it.
not
You're not
gonna
even
be-
drinking because
You're
you're
not
sober,
gonna
so
believe
because you're
it.
breastfeeding.
Oh
It's
my
the most
God,
insane
look
thing
at
ever.
this. Look at
Imagine
this.
landing in this thing.
Yeah, and I put
and people survived.
There only one person died. It was the flight attendant.
Wow,
That's fucking nuts.
This looks like Lost, the show Lost.
I know.
How the plane crashed. Wow.
I put the
Lost-
other link.
Lost
too.
sucked
It's
at
not
the end.
one I was
Fuck Lost.
talking about, but it's something similar, and that happened last year. With the link that I put in the chat.
Okay, let me do that. Oh my God, I just this
There
looks
was
like
an
a
incident
ride.
that I learned of fairly recently. I forget which country had jurisdiction. This was a diving. Sorry, this is not plane stuff, but it was a diving incident that happened within the last couple of years, where like 4 industrial divers were lost, and the company said that they
Sorry,
had like.
Al, I put another video, Chrissy, of the actual situation without the news. I just put it
Wait,
on
which
the-
one?
yeah.
Oh, I want to see it.
Whoa. Okay, I see
What do you
this.
say now? The divers, like they were like welders or something?
I don't know what they were doing, but they left him to die, and this happened within the last 2 years. And they said they
Well,
didn't
the
have
people
any
in that
responsibility.
that
to
little
get him.
submarine, that little submarine guy.
Yep.
He they all died, and I'm like, I asked people, I'm like, isn't there some goo at least? And they're like, no, there's nothing. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, I mean,
From
it
your
would.
body.
Oh my God, it's just a hole.
Yeah. There was a couple like where the windows came out. Oh my
I
God.
remember
everybody's
that. That was the flight.
window to
yeah,
the
in like the
wall.
Pacific Northwest. That was what, like 2-3
Can
years
they
ago now.
breathe
That's like
like
that's
this?
like last year.
Alaska Airlines, right?
Can they
Yeah,
breathe?
I think
It's a stupid
2024 it said.
question.
And the
Probably
girl,
737.
no one got sucked out. No one got sucked out, right? Like, they were all
737
fine.
Max.
If you
No.
watch the story one, like that I posted, that one tells the story of what happened.
I
Is that
forgot
one
about
better?
that
Or
one.
did you want me to play the one?
If you want to play it, like that one, it's the news that's covering it.
Oh, not even 20 minutes into the flight. Whoa! I wonder what kind of
And
flight
it's not
it
like
was.
you
Okay,
can
but
just like immediately
can we
land
say-
either.
The first 2, 3, 4 seasons of Lost were pretty cool. Can we say that? at
Yes,
least?
I agree.
Yeah,
There's
That's-
a couple of people say it was
Right.
good.
And then it was good.
No denying that.
sucked.
Horse
That and this wasn't even the video that I was thinking of because there was another video where like
Yeah, I think
literally
there's one in
everything
Denver.
the inside of the thing is falling apart, and I couldn't even find it. So
I
Can't
do
find it
remember. I do remember the Alaska Airlines flight
Wow.
because it was like another 737 Max like incident in that like when there were it was
Wow.
like really
It
relevant.
was a small thing that someone
relevant.
should have investigated. Someone should have like inspected. It was something that it was some small thing that someone should have inspected, right?
And what happened to the door? Did they ever find the
One
door?
would think. I don't know what the thing was with this one.
I usually let smart people take
You
care
gotta
of this
listen to
stuff,
it.
but
I
then
don't-
they're failing.
Do you think that person who's sitting there is like happy for the extra leg room? They can just, like, kick a leg out.
Oh my god, I think they probably moved. They were like,
Excuse
"Ah."
me, my drink fell out the hole. Can I get
That's like the
another one?"
scariest thing. Could you imagine if the window sucked out and you're sitting in that row? Like that's the scary.
That's why you
like,
buckle your seatbelt.
Dude, I was right across from it. It was scary as hell. 2 people missed the plane that were supposed to sit wet. That was funny. Those texts.
Emma Vu. What does Emma Vu say?
She's a passenger.
that was the whole conspiracy that James Lindsay said was that like Boeing was sending inspectors into and they were like not inspecting.
Fly out, that no one flew out. U.S. regulators have ordered the grounding
They
of
should make
some
the
Boeing 737
the ending looking
all of the
sad.
Boeing whistleblowers are like dead now.
The statement the company
Yeah, they were all dying, and they weren't doing. Yeah,
They were like, I mean, that's what I'm saying, Al. There's like some shit going on with Boeing. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but there's some shit going on.
No, I don't disagree with you. I just don't know what it. I don't.
You don't know.
When
You
you're
don't
smart
know.
enough to know that something's going on, but not smart enough to know exactly what it is. You're like,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
Trump
there.
sucks
Yeah, 'cause
up,
that's
but I
what-
don't know what it is.
because someone said there was the Chinese airlines had this thing that was competing with the Boeing whatever 737, and so they had people like infiltrate Boeing and not inspect right or something. Like who knows, right?
Okay,
But-
hold on. I do need to address one thing in the chat because people are saying DEI. Look, like not everything is DEI. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
not everything.
Some of this
But
stuff
most of it
started
is.
happening. Some of this stuff started happening way before the DEI stuff even kicked in. It's like
yeah, there's
look at
just
this,
like criminal
Nina,
stuff.
Any brown person in any job is DEI. I don't care what you say.
Well, there are some
Or a
industries
woman.
where you
Or a
can cut
woman.
Or a
corners
woman.
and you can get away with it. There are some where there's no really wiggle room. Even again, like with the bird strike thing in Korea and South Korea, it's like you can do everything right and it can still all go wrong. There should be absolutely zero tolerance for any sort of cutting of corners because
I agree.
In midair, it's
the cutting of corners
Truly
is
life and
way
death.
more serious than the DEI stuff.
Or
man.
not, or
that
like with
shit's
the Black
fucking
Hawk
filthy.
helicopter where they like scrubbed her social media before they like let her name out and stuff. Like that's a little
That's
why.
sketchy.
But did they also think we would all be like, oh, it's DI?
It's probably her family.
They apparently did it
Yeah,
because
what do I
she's
know?
gay, and they were like, "Oh, we don't want her to be like,
Yeah, because my
attacked
niece
or
is a girl. My niece is gonna totally be a pilot when she's almost a pilot, and I'm like, but she's awesome. It's not DEI, It's like, but everyone wants
You
to
ever
blame
say
it
to
right
her?
away.
Ever say to her, "Why you want to be a pilot when you can be a stewardess?" And it's a lot less stress. And it's
No, she's not a gay man. She can't be a stewardess. She's not a gay man like all the rest of them. So.
Look, you can just serve drinks, relax, fix your lipstick.
I wish they could still be like that.
If you
want,
if you ask my like super conspiratorial brain though, it's ultimately flights and travel and like free movement around the globe or even domestically within your own borders is something that like the lizard people, I guess, for like you know what I mean, like the people who want to control, like they want to control every aspect of it, and flight has become something that really inhibits their ability to really corral people and control them.
Yeah.
So if you plant seeds of doubt in some of the most well-established plane manufacturers in the airline industry in general, it would likely keep people from traveling. Like,
Do you want to hear my
not
crazy?
wrong.
But that's
conspiracy theory about it?
that's just the thought.
Do you want to hear my crazy conspiracy theory about it? Because like I think kind of similar to that, but like I think it has more to do with like earth changes, and I mean that in the terms of like not like climate change, because like we go
Like
through
Bermuda
cycles,
Triangle stuff.
Like flat Earth
no.
changes.
More like asteroids and like comets and stuff like that are entering our atmosphere and are causing like major problems. And I think they're trying to get people to like not fly. Like that's I think is what's going on, is they know that we're like the earth is going to enter that zone of having more.
But no time soon.
No.
Taylor Swift has to get to all the football games. Okay, she has
does.
to fly to all.
Let me
the
get through a
fucking
couple
games.
of these. From Chris Thompson, cabins are pressurized. Strange things happens. Crazy YouTube video of an F-15 refueling and was experiencing St. Elmo's fire. Ooh. We was MAGA's China had nothing to do with Boeing's mismanagement. There's no shortage of material detailing extensive problems in that company.
Yeah, I mean, all companies are like humans are like I'm an idiot. I would never get into these jobs because I'm an idiot, right?
Oh,
but
you're
some
a plane
people would
waitress?
try. Yeah, I mean, I would be a great stewardess or whatever, but like that stuff, like
it would
I'm
be
not,
fun.
Yeah, like there are people who are
apparently,
getting
like
into
being
these
a
jobs who
stewardess is
shouldn't.
terrible for your what's it called, like eggs.
I can imagine
What?
it's bad for circulation over time too.
It's apparently really, really
Yeah.
bad for.
I feel sick
people
on the
becoming
airplane a
pregnant.
little bit. I can imagine.
I think
well,
what did
I'm
I
too
read up?
old now. I'm old,
when I
Nina,
was
so it doesn't
when
matter.
I was pregnant, they said the what was it? The UV can affect your something to do with your fertility or your pregnancy if you do a certain amount of flights. Like if you are a flight attendant who does many international flights, like just you're logging
A
many
lot.
many hours in the air, that does affect.
Is
your
there a
Your
higher
body gets
incident?
affected.
Is there a higher incidence rate of like cancer for pilots and flight attendants? I assume so. If you're
Ooh,
I would
radiating.
assume so as well. And also like basically like TSA, especially after they installed those like the machines like after 9/11 with the ones that
Oh,
you
I don't go in those anymore.
I don't
Leidos
go into
machines,
those
yeah.
either. But the ones
I go
but
for
the
a pat
people
down.
who same here because every time I opt out.
And I
But
enjoy it. I
people
go,
who
oh, a
actually-
little bit lower.
Yeah. It's nice
the
to be
people who
fucking
are
touched
actually
once in a
mostly
while.
affected are the people who work there for 8 hours a day because they're like working there and like are next to the machine all the time. So they get exposed to the most like radiation and shit like that. So those people are actually like really in danger.
And they
of
kind of
getting, like,
started
breast
not at the
cancer,
best
all sorts of
spot.
shit.
Yeah.
I got a couple more. Dan Halen, stewardesses hate being called anything else. I used to make a friend mad by calling her a plain waitress. That's great.
Isn't stewardess like not correct
No,
anymore?
yeah, it's flight attendant, but
Yeah.
I say stewardess still.
I still
Person of flight
Right, yeah,
attending.
person of air.
And they're all
Ryan
gay
Larson,
men now, basically.
Julian Kopiopski survived a 10,000
Is
foot
that the
drop.
woman that like landed in the jungle and had to like?
Whoa.
I think so. If that's the one I'm thinking of, it happened in like the 70s or
Sassafras.
something.
Birds can mess you up. I took a turkey to the face, full speed on a four-wheeler. Fair to say, the bird
And
won.
turkeys are huge. Turkeys are huge, man.
I would love to see that.
There's wild turkeys at my house, and they're huge, man. And they like fly into the trees. It's so crazy. Turkeys
They
are
test
huge.
too.
They test airline equipment with like I think they call it like a chicken cannon or something like that, where they do
They
they'll
throw it
launch-
into it.
No.
Well, they'll launch like they're not alive.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
it's like okay, all right.
But like I think
No,
it's
you know
called
what?
a
Screw
chicken cannon.
Canadian and screw the Canadian gooses. Honestly, there's too many of them. There's too many Canadian gooses.
Reed says now
Too
that the
many.
Chiefs have lost, how long before Taylor Swift breaks up with Travis? Will she stand by her man?
Okay.
Is that a
I
real
have a comment.
relationship? Is it even
Yes,
real?
because okay,
I don't think it
here's the
is.
thing. You don't think so? I think it is because people have been talking about these guys breaking up for like years now, and it hasn't happened. I feel like they're like in it. I don't know. I think she's like I don't think they're gonna break
Unless
up.
they get married, I won't believe it. She's too much.
Because
of
she's a
fan.
billion. Isn't she a billionaire? Is she a billionaire?
Of course she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rhinoceros says
He is-
Kanye is Diddy
he
light.
is.
Matthew
I
Hammond
don't think Kanye is diddled kids. I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I asked in Kanye before
No.
he deactivated. I'm like, were you fucking kids too? That's what I said to him. But
Matthew
I don't
Hammond
think
says
he was
Boeing had
either.
issues since McDonnell Douglas merger. Oh, I didn't hear about that. And Sam, nothing wrong with being skeptical of potential grifts. That's like saying to not be critical of Whitney Cummings. Oh, don't get me started.
I'm on your side. I was on your side. I was on your side, Chrissy, because she was all like, "Oh, I'm badass," and I'm like against everything, and I'm like,
I'm sorry. Here's the thing. And I saw a lot of people were commenting on the Brett Cooper video, and I bumped into
I
Brett.
didn't see that.
He did a show at the Stand. What was it, last week, 2 weeks ago? She's very tall, very gorgeous in person. Here's the thing. This might sound, I don't care how it sounds. People who
Just say
did
it.
shit, people who did absolutely nothing during the pandemic, people who did not stand up, people who sat there. with
made
their
people
thumbs
get
up their asses,
vaccines to go to their shows. They made people get vaccines to go to their
people
shows.
who did nothing, who didn't stand up, who put zero on the line. I'm sorry, they're going to probably stick up for other people who also did nothing during the pandemic, during the lockdowns. Put zero on the line. Whitney put zero on the line. She lost zero. She lost no shows, no income, not her standing in the industry, not the
She went along with it all. She
her-
went along with it all to
went
make
along
money.
with it. Performed at venues that mandated the vaccine. I'm sorry, it doesn't count if you did a few outdoor shows where anybody could come. We all did that in the beginning, but guess what? Then you had the choice. And I'm like, I don't want to say I'm nobody. I'm very bunch of small fish compared to Whitney Cummings. They would have listened to her. Oh, the promoters mandated the vax. Fuck it, you tell them what to do. You're the talent.
That's why you're so respectable, Chrissy, because you were for real about it. You were like, fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, I mean, yes, integrity is nice, but like, and Lila rants about this too. She's almost like, I wish sometimes maybe I'd kept my mouth shut because I didn't fucking get anything. Like, we didn't get anything for it, but just like, you know, dignity and respect. Which
Lila
is nice.
had to move for Chrissy.
Just
But,
dignity and respect.
People like Whitney, they get to have their cake and eat it too.
She's like, I said something mean about CNN. I'm awesome.
They get to like do nothing during the pandemic, put nothing on the line, lose nothing. And then in 2025, say a few jokes on CNN, and everyone's like, oh my God, she's so base. She's our hero. Well, she came around eventually. Oh, don't be so mean. Don't
Because
you
it's
want people to
popular
agree with you?
now.
It's like, fuck you. She could have had so much impact. She's a freaking household name, very famous. People would have listened to her, and it really would have helped the cause. Like, okay, yes, eventually we did get there. We don't have vaccine passports right now, but like, imagine if we didn't. And people, it's so easy for people to be like, what's the big deal? It's not, you know, it's over. It's like, it very easily could not have been over. Like, it could, we could have very easily had vaccine passports and not be able to travel without that.
And all the
shit.
all the comedy places did. The comedy places all did. They all.
And
fell into
here's the
that.
thing that Brett doesn't understand, because she might have been, I don't know, was she 12 years old during the pandemic? She doesn't realize what entertainers, especially in the New York and LA area, had to put up with during the lockdowns. Like, you literally could not go.
You risk it. That's why I like
anywhere.
love you, Chrissy, and respect you, because you actually risked it. You and Lila, like, you guys risked it for real. It was your career.
We both were at this place where we were like, oh, I'm just not gonna perform anywhere in New York City ever again. And you have to be okay with that, because if you don't, you're a hypocrite. And it's like, well, if I don't take a stand, like, and I'm
Now, here's the thing, to her point, right? Like, and I when I watched the video, I was just like, oh my God, because I rolled my eyes too. No, but to her point, she's trying to say that, like, when you get there, even like, you know, better late than never, right? So she's like saying, like, better late than never.
Ugh.
So when they get here,
Not during that.
we should
Not
be-
during
we
that.
should be more welcoming, or like whatever. So I kind of see that from that point of view, but I'm also really fucking bitter about it. So I'm like,
that was a big deal. COVID
People
was
who
a big
lost
deal.
it are not going to forget about it and be like, oh, let's hand out participation trophies to the people who eventually got there. Fuck no. A lot of us had family members die that we weren't allowed to see. People lost jobs. People lost family members. People lost friendships over this. People lost a lot, and people didn't lose shit. Sorry, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, you came around eventually. How wonderful.
It sounded to me like Brett was one of those people who got vaccinated and then, you know.
Well, didn't she
was
work at the
fine.
Daily Wire? Wasn't Brett Daily Wire?
Yeah.
Before?
Was
Yeah,
what?
and Shapiro was pushing it. Shapiro was pushing it.
Shapiro
so-
was pushing it, but I don't know like if everybody took it or not. I'm just saying, I just feel like Brett is one of those people who took the vaccine and was basically fine, because if you took the vaccine and you
didn't have any reactions, you're the ones you're gonna go around thinking, oh, this is perfectly safe, when it's like,
Yeah.
no.
Didn't have a reaction yet.
Right.
And
but did you
never will.
boosted? And they stopped getting the boost, like the people who did the
I'm
initial
assuming, by the way,
whatever.
I have no idea if she
Right,
took
no,
the vax or not.
it's
I'm
an
just saying.
interesting-
I bet she did.
Like,
I bet she did.
And
I bet she
I
did.
noticed
She
a lot of
did.
people from the Let's Give People Grace camp you sound vaccinated, you know, and also it's
Exactly.
easy to say that when you did nothing for
When you
years.
basically, like, you know, were like, you know, goose stepping along, like, just go along, Jerry, go
Like-
along. Remember that Seinfeld joke? Just go
Like
along.
Chrissy, you made a stand. Chrissy, you made a stand. Like you were saying, I'm not like, this is stupid. We're not going to do this stuff. And now Whitney's all like, oh, I made fun of CNN. Aren't I cool? And it's like, you have made people get a vaccine to go to your stupid shows.
Yeah.
Like, that's
And like, don't be like, oh, the promoters. Who's more powerful, the promoters or you, the person that people?
yeah.
are
You could
coming to
cancel.
see?
You could just cancel, right? You could just say, I'm not going to
guess
do
what?
it.
There were comics. I believe Andrew Schultz had a venue where that was pro-vaccine. That he said, guess what? You're not making my people take the vaccine. You're not making my people test. Like, we're not doing that. And every comic had the power to do that, and if you didn't do it, it's because you didn't fucking
Even
care.
Jordan
You wanted that
Peterson,
money.
even Jordan Peterson had the power. He went around talking, and there were some things he went to where everyone had to be vaccinated with Jordan Peterson. I'm like, screw you, dude. Like, screw all that stuff. Like, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe we lived through that stuff.
I think
I know.
giving
I
grace
still
to
can't
people
believe
who
we're-
are not like public facing is important. You know what I mean? Like if it's like people who don't have an online presence. I mean, like I used to be like full on lefty, so I maybe have a too much
pretty
of a
left,
biased
too.
perspective. But I think that like when it comes down to it, it depends on how vindictive you were during that era. How active saying sorry might cut it if it was someone who like is just like your coworker who didn't, you know, speak up or something like that, versus someone who actually had, I mean, like one of the biggest like forces in I guess entertainment right now is UFC, because Dana White kept like UFC open. I'm not the target audience, but I respect the hell out of what he did. Like people who took that risk were ultimately rewarded, or well, it's not everyone, but like people who took big risks could get big rewards. But like I think there's a lot of people right now too who are like realizing that they were misled or are regretting getting that first round of vaccines. And I think that telling them, haha, you deserve everything that's happening to like we had one of the most intensive psyops like I've ever really been like cognizant of happening in real time. And I have a lot of sympathy for people who were misled to the point where they like the genetic expression of these like mRNA vaccines, like we don't know what the half-life is, we don't know what the long-term ramifications of them are. All of the experiments that have been done like have not in the like just don't turn out well. There's like a whole different aspect of it where like it could really go very poorly for a lot of people very quickly over the next few years. And I don't think anyone deserves that, because they had their job held over
Especially if it's your job. The job thing was the big thing, was your job.
Like speed or whatever. And I think that it's important that people did stand up to it, but not like, again, it was a massive psyop that was taking place. I don't blame people who were victims of a psyop. I blame the psyopers.
Yeah, I'm with you all.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
agree.
to some extent though, because
I mean,
there was something like I don't blame the ones that are like, you know, like what you said, but I do blame the ones that are like
could have made
people
a
that were
difference.
clinging on to the promise
There's
of
a
like, oh,
difference.
we all just get vaccinated and it'll all be over.
There's a
Of
difference
course it
between
wasn't gonna be
somebody
over.
who
Like,
worked at a job, had to feed their family, and job says, hey, you either get vaccinated or you lose your job, you can't feed your family. I have sympathy for those people. That's a lot of people.
But I also have friends who did. I have friends who quit and left and made it work.
But
you know?
someone in Whitney Cummings' position who had the power to make shows and
fuck
perform
Whitney
places
Cummings.
that did
Sorry.
not,
That was
she
not
could have
fair.
said, no, we're not testing. We're not mandating vaxes. She had the, you know what I mean? There,
yeah,
she had
100%.
the power
I'm
to
with
change
you.
it. I don't at all. I would never shame somebody who's at a job who's like, yeah, I got to do it. I'm fucked and I'm going to lose my.
Or in the or in the
insurance
military.
Like,
the military.
Vader came
Yeah.
out tonight and was like, "Oh, guys, by the way, like, sorry about that." I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself, bro!" Like, you know, people like Colbert and like all those people like that are like
Doing
promoting
his like
that shit.
dance with the
And then it's also hard for me to. It's so hard for me to like have sympathy for Whitney Cummings because it's like we're around the same age. We, you know, when I think like we had access, it's not like you're a kid in your 20s, like Brett Cooper, right? I give her a pass too because she was too young. She's like, you know, she's probably, I don't know, in kindergarten during the pandemic. Like what? I
think
don't
it was
fucking know.
just a display of
She's
like
too young to
general
know.
optimism.
And it's like
more
when
than
I
anything.
think someone's around the same age as me and we had the same access to the same Alex Jones, the same internet, the same time, it's like, how could you not?
But think of how algorithmically controlled things were. Like think about who was in charge of like Twitter at the time. Think about like, I mean, there was
white women are followers. White women are followers. Like They just are. Like,
Apparently not
you
all
know.
white women. I mean, she wasn't.
Not
following.
all, but
Yeah. It is wild. The algorithm thing is real.
I think people in general, we're a couple genes shy of being like herd animals, truly, but like it's an instinctual thing to go with what
the herd. It's true.
Right.
Right. The survival
People don't want to
reflex.
stick out. It's true.
And I have a
Because
lot
it
of friends who
feels-
were lefty, and I was lefty, and they say, "Well, you guys were holding out. We couldn't move ahead." And it's like that's how their
Dude,
thinking was.
Well,
Like, you
it's
all
a lot
had to
easier
do
to
it.
pit people against each other than to face the
Yeah.
actual.
I had people tell
wild.
me
issue.
that, like, because I refused to fly. Like, I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking participating in this
still wouldn't.
bullshit. And I fucking didn't do it, right? And then people
I
were
wouldn't
telling
go.
me,
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't
"Oh,
go
get
out
the-
where you had to be vaccinated or whatever.
Go get the fake thing, like get the fake card or whatever.
didn't do
and
it.
You can
I didn't
travel.
do
And
it.
I was like, I'm not
Good for
even
you.
gonna participate in getting the fake card because
Right.
once you start
You're still part of the
participating in
system.
that means you're validating this insane
Yep.
existence. And I was like, I'm not even fucking gonna do that because I'm gonna do the other thing. I'm gonna fight this shit so that
Mhm.
we can fucking get our world back. I was against this whole bullshit about the new normal from the fucking first day. I was like,
Mhm.
new normal? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not participating in any of this. So I get you, Chrissy, because I was just like you. I'm like, I cannot understand even the people who actually did participate in it. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not doing
Mhm.
it. But
Well,
hey,
the biometric IDs have not gone away. They've only taken a different form. So it's not
Ooh.
the battle is not won yet, but the
Shifted. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
But if you have kids, don't let your kids fit in. Make your kids stand up against fitting in for when this kind of crap happens.
Yeah.
Because
Sam
it's
says Brett also
important.
excused Zuckerberg. Screw that. Oh.
yeah, she was all like, well, like, look, he's just so changed. I'm like, yeah, because his programming is updated.
He
He's
just
a
has a
fucking
different
robot.
hairstyle.
he's
Derek,
like a fucking robot. He's got a
I
different
asked-
program.
I asked the nurse for the shot with the microchips in it so I could get better 5G reception, but she just shook her head like I was crazy. Oh, that's funny. Stymie, purebloods. Yeah, purebloods for life. Sam, it's not about vindictiveness. It's about the countless lives that were destroyed that will never ever get justice. We can't forget them.
Not
Right.
saying
And
forget
all
them.
I
Exactly.
want is like an apology or like if Whitney was
Say
like,
you were wrong.
"Look,
Say
I
you're
was
wrong."
wrong. It was the wrong move to mandate jabs at my shows. I was wrong. That's it. That's all.
Dude, you
people-
know what though? That's what I'm saying, Chrissy. Some people I'm not gonna accept that from. Like, not if Colbert came
Not
out and said,
Fauci, yeah, not
I'm
Well,
Colbert.
yeah, not
I'm sorry,
Colbert.
I'd be like, go fuck yourself. There's
But
people.
I had a
there's
yoga
certain people that-
teacher.
no,
I had a
don't
yoga
accept
teacher
it.
who was like, we were doing the best we could. And I'm like, you're in a hot yoga room for this 5,000-year-old practice, making people wear masks. Really?
That's
Like,
insane. That's actually
it
insane.
was, and then I couldn't go because I wasn't vaccinated. And I was like, and she's like, we were just doing the best we could. And I'm like, okay, nope. And you didn't ever apologize. Nope. Sorry.
There's this
No.
guy there's this guy who makes these like animated shorts. I think he's so talented and I can't believe he hasn't taken off yet, but his name's Al Berry and he makes these like little like quick political animated shorts. It's very akin to like South Park and
Aw.
his Colbert character has a catchphrase and it's just I sold out years ago and I'm a coward and he just says it over and over again. It's so good.
great.
That sounds good.
Shout out to Al Berry. He doesn't know, but Al Berry.
What happened
or
to
Al Berry
Colbert?
on Twitter. He still does his show.
Still
Still
Colbering.
out. Still
He's
out.
still
But
doing
he
his
was
thing.
funny. Colbert was
interviewed,
funny on Strangers with Candy. You remember Strangers with Candy with
long
No,
time
no,
ago.
no.
Sounds
Hang
like a
on, hang
terrible name
on.
for a
See,
show.
you're wrong. He was never funny. He had
Well,
funny
yeah.
writers. Okay.
Yes,
People
Yeah,
wrote
that's
funny
true.
stuff
That's
for
true.
him, and he had good delivery. That's the only
That's
fucking talent
true.
the dude has. He
It
didn't
was
write
a
his own jokes.
character. It was
His
a character.
on Daily Show was a funny character, but like I've never found him funny. Fifi Giganator, no sympathy for vaccine. Simps, Super Bowl was boring.
What's that
Good.
guy's name? L, the
Ladies,
cartoon
I'm
guy.
It's Al Berry, ALBARRY. He's so I don't know. He's so
Al
funny.
Berry.
Show?
Ladies.
Al Berry
Let
show.
me find out what it is. I think so.
It's Al Berry
Post
show.
it in the chat so I can pull
It's
it
so
up.
fucking funny.
Whoop. You guys know what time it is.
Well,
It's
you
time
guys
for
are in the future. You
plug.
guys are in the future compared to me. So
Ooh. Dr. Ratchi. What's wrong with the vax? I made money. Yes, you sure did, Dr.
That's good.
Funny. Lauren, darling, thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thanks
You're
for having me
so
on.
smart, and I appreciate your takes.
Wait,
always.
I'm not.
Stop it!
like-
Stop it! Accept the compliment. Tell the people where they can find you.
Take it, Lauren. Take it.
Take it. Take it. Bend over.
You can, some bitch I know on Twitter, or on Gab, or on wherever. Just look up
Rumble.
something. It's probably me. Could not be though. It could be someone trying to like scam you with crypto. So if they start talking about crypto, not me, because I don't know shit about it.
I'm doing like a slow Trump dance. Forest Mommy, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. Tell the people what's coming up, where they can find you.
Doris Molly on Twitter and Rumble is the best place to find me. That's it, pretty much. There's a Rumble floss Trump, and it's awesome. He's like goes like this. I love it.
Yay, Nina, thanks for coming on.
Oh my God, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Always fun to hang out with you guys. You can find me on my channel, Nina Infinity. That's the main channel. And I have the Good News Infinite Hope show, and it's got its own channel now. So go and subscribe there. And you can find me on Twitter, Nina7Infinity. That's me. And I just put out a video about the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing right before I came here. So if you're interested in any of that, or like if you're like, I don't have any idea what the fuck is going on with that, but I kind of want to know what's going on with that, watch this video. It'll like explain the whole thing to you from beginning to the end. So there you go. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you for coming. I have a busy week. I think I'm going to be on a Sirius XM show on Wednesday. I have to. It's in my email which one it is. I should know this.
Sounds
and
very
then working on some interviews with some peepers. I got to update my calendar. It's gonna be.
You need to come to Colorado. You need to come to Colorado, Chrissy.
Ooh, I haven't
You
been.
and Lila.
That would be great. I went to
Yeah,
Boulder.
let's plan
I
something.
did a show in Boulder like years ago, but I would like to go back. Thank you,
Make something
Simps.
happen.
The Simps at home
Thanks,
for watching.
Simps.
We appreciate you. We
Correct.
love you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.